So we're gonna start today with here, our good friend Alex Martel says, I've been trying to get into the gaming industry at the capacity of props and environment artists, but so far no luck on my applications. What should I improve in my works? By the way, what do you think on Blender Substance Painter combo for props environments to work in a studio? I know Maya is a standard, but isn't all just FBX models and JPEG textures at the end of the day? Do studios really care for other softwares? There we go. Let's take a look at the portfolio. Now, as for your question, it's a great question, by the way. Like, the difference or the pipeline, right? Like, most studios will tell you to use Maya just because they already have the licenses and they have a lot of pipelines and tools that integrates things a lot easier. Now, I've said this before, if you're a Maya user, switching to Blender, or if you're a Blender user, switching to Maya is not that difficult. Once you have like the good basis of, again, modeling and things like that, it should be relatively simple to learn it. So if you're finding that the fact that you are, what's the word? If you find the fact that you're having issues with the compatibility of softwares in your applications, again, spending 1 month or 2 months, if possible, just learning the basics of the software might get you a better opportunity, right? It is true that most people who are doing modeling, it really doesn't matter where you do it. It's just a matter of making sure that you do it in a nice way. So first impression is you have really clean renders. I really like that. My friend here, let me just get your name again. Alex. So Alex, you got a very, very cool what's the word, like a render thing, like this one right here. I love it. This is very nice, very, very clean. We got depth of field, we got a little bit of everything. The one thing I'm noticing is that the modeling is a little bit on the simple side. What do I mean? If you take a look at the guitar, for instance, here, I've rarely seen this like super square guitar, like what are they called, like arms or things like that. So it's important to maybe add just a little bit more complexity to the modeling, okay? Because otherwise it just looks too simple. And one thing that I've mentioned frequently is that, especially for a modeling thing, like there's a lot of modelers out there, so you really want to do some models that show that you can do complex stuff. And I'm gonna give you a very sort of like, oh wow, okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk about some other things here in just a second, but I'm gonna give you a very realistic thing about like the modeling world, guys, and this is for everyone. Companies, unfortunately, focus a lot on capitalism like mentalities, right? So they want to make the most amount of work with the least amount of money. Why? Because that's going to give them the most amount of revenue at the end. So if I can spend, let's say, $10 and get $100 back, they're going to take that over someone that's going to charge them, let's say, $20 and make again $100 back. That's just the unfortunate side of things. So if they can find even a guitar model online that's going to cost them like $20, it's probably they're going to just buy the model instead of hiring someone to do it. That's why when you are showing your modeling skills, you definitely want to be showing them on, again, like relatively complex things that you can't just go and buy online, or that you can just hire anyone and have them do it, okay? Now, one thing that I notice here is the stretchiness of the elements, okay? This is not necessarily a bad model from a like topology perspective. It just looks a little bit weird, right? Like, yes, we do have a natural loop that goes around the whole thing, which is nice, but then all of this like webbing that we get going towards the circle, I understand why you did it. Like, you wanted to, like, again, keep everything sort of like in a similar situation, but I'm not sure it's the best like solution. It just looks weird, okay? Again, I know that from a texturing perspective, it's possible to just texture everything very, very nicely. It's just, again, like one of those things that you might want to like take a look into. Remember, when we were doing topology, and you can see this on the topology video, one of the things that you need to take into account is making sure things are going as straight as possible in every direction. Because otherwise, when you try to deform things, when you try to destroy things with procedural elements and things like that, it just doesn't work, okay? This one's good. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna give you a very like interesting like feedback on this thing right here. Yeah, I like this. One question that I have is if you did all of the statues, or if you just did the architecture. The statues kind of look like things that you might have gotten online, you know, from like photogrammetry things. The architecture itself is amazing. It looks really nice. So that one's great. Oh, there we go. All statues are sculpted by clay guy. There you go. Yeah, no, this is fine. I like it. I think this is a good project. I like the illumination. I love that shot right there. Now, I'm gonna give you a very important, like, advice, and this is for everyone, guys. This is for everyone. I'm actually gonna go, like, full screen now. You are the first one who should never talk about... Rather, let me rephrase that. You should not talk badly about your work. At any point, okay? Like, even if you think it's a bad work... just present it. Just don't say anything. Don't overhype it, right? But oh no, don't underhype it either. Because if you oh, thank you, man, for this up. If you overhype things or underhype things, and then that doesn't match the expectation of the clients, of the audience, or whatever, like, someone is looking at, you're gonna get a little bit of an issue there. So for instance, here you're saying, sure, there are errors and some aspects can be improved. With what I've learned, aside from countless technical tricks and things going further, I will not buy more than I can chew for the free time projects. Unnecessary information. You don't need to tell me that there are errors or there are aspects that can be improved. I'm the one who's gonna decide whether or not I think there's things that can be improved or whether or not I think there's errors, okay? Same goes for the audience. Like, when have you heard a director or a game producer or someone, like, going into an interview and saying, yeah, our movie kind of sucks, like, the third act is a little bit weak, but we hope that people are gonna like the movie? No one. Like, they always overhype stuff. They always say, oh, it's gonna be the most awesome thing ever, you're gonna enjoy it, it's like absolutely fabulous. Even when actors know that the movies are not gonna be that great or that they suck, they will always talk positively about things, and they'll just wait for the audience to decide whether or not it was real or not, right? Like, that kind of review. So never talk bad about your artwork. Just let the audience decide. If you talk bad about your artwork, what you're doing is you're setting a precedent so that people will see your artwork with a more critical eye, and they're going to be looking for those things that you're saying that are wrong or that are mistakes. So be very, very careful about that, okay, guys? So there we go. Now, going to some of the other ones, like, I really like this one. This one is very nice, like, super clean render, super clean textures. This is amazing. Good UVs. That looks nice. Again, the really big test for this kind of models is always the wireframe, because you do mention that this is a real-time one. This is not real-time. I mean, oh wow, yeah. I mean, no, man. I don't think this will work as a real-time. Can anyone tell me why this is not gonna work as nicely as real-time? Yes, you can use it. Like, on Real nowadays, you can use it. For a AAA game, you can use it. But why is this not gonna work as efficiently as what we would expect? What do you guys think? Well, okay, so imagine the director saying to me, yeah, my movie sucks. Exactly. Like, don't talk about, like, badly about it. Try, like, my best advice is just play it cool. Just be like, hey, you know what? This is my project. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. That's it. You shut up, and then you let people ask questions or realize, like, oh, what about this? Oh yeah, I'm messed up there. In the next one, this is a very important tip for interviews. Whenever someone points out something that whenever someone points out something that's wrong with your stuff, always admit it. Of course, it's important to admit our mistakes and realize that, yeah, there's a mistake right there, but always offer a solution. If you do that, your whole perspective changes, because it's not the same thing to have someone or to point a mistake to someone and then that someone making excuses or trying to justify that mistake than someone that actually finds a way to solve it. So if someone says, hey, your anatomy here is a little bit like bad, like the shoulder doesn't look right, instead of saying, oh yeah, I'm still learning anatomy, shoulders are very tricky, I was thinking about maybe this character was, you know, a little bit stronger here or weaker there. No, just say, yeah, I'm learning anatomy, I'm proving that's definitely a tricky area. What I would do for the next project, or I would do for this project, is I would maybe grab some reference from, I don't know, like a UFC fighter and try to match that a little bit more closely. Because that way I know, again, this is from an interview perspective, that you have the mindset to look for solutions rather than just complain and try to justify things. It's another important thing that hopefully is going to be available or not available. Hopefully it's going to be useful for everyone. Max Swag says, hey Abe, nice jacket. I bought your Blender AAA course yesterday and I've learned a lot. Thank you very much. 100 on 100. Yo, thank you, man. Thank you. And by the way, guys, I don't know how I forget to mention this. For those of you that are unaware, you might be living under a rock for the last couple of days, but we are having a special sale right now in honor, of course, of Black Friday. It's been going for the full week. It started on Monday, and it's going to be stopping or ending this next Monday, on Cyber Monday. So as soon as we hit Tuesday, so Monday, 11:59 p.m., the sale is gone. All of the courses, ZBrush, Blender, Marvelous, Topology, Maya, Substance, like all of the things right here, are available for a 30% discount. So if you've been thinking about getting one of the courses, again, to support the channel, to learn a new skill, to improve your portfolio, well, this is probably the best chance you're gonna get, okay? So yeah, thank you guys, thank you. What is the difference between your real-time assets and this one? So real-time assets, Wolf Girl, that's a really great question. Wait, Maxwag, you paid like full price? Oh, dude, send me a message on Discord. I think we can do something about it. So one of the things that you can do about this is, or sorry, Wolfgar, the answer is that for real time, you usually want to simplify the silhouette and simplify the amount of edge loops as much as possible. So if the edge loops don't change the silhouette, right, like all of these edge loops here on the inside of the hat, you don't need them, right? All of these edge loops on the curvature of this strap, they're not needed. So from a UV perspective, this works perfectly fine, just one UV map and everything. Again, the texture is amazing. You can keep this texture, but you can lower this like way more. Okay, also, I'm not sure if this plane is the best solution for the little metal cap. It looks a little bit weird. I would just keep it, like, I would just model the thing, like the border of the thing. I understand why you did it, Alex, but just keep that in mind. Now, we spent a little bit too much time on your portfolio, man, so I'm gonna stop it here. But again, go for more complex models would be my first advice, and add a little bit more visual interest to the elements as well. Like here, this bench, too uniform. Textures are way too uniform right here. Mustafa38 says, yeah, my program instructors get quite annoyed when someone gives excuses instead of admitting. Yeah, just admit it. And if you don't know how to fix it, like if you don't know how to handle something, just say that. There's absolutely nothing wrong. The reason why we're here as teachers is to guide you, to help you in that, like, in that process, right? Now we're gonna go with Nikita Vasilov. Says, hi, I've been watching you for a long time. I want to say thank you so much for all the knowledge you give people. You are welcome. Once upon a time, your Demon with Wings course or something like that gave me a lot of knowledge. Yeah, that's an old course of mine. I want to hold my skills. So let's take a look. Nikita Vasilov. I think I've seen yours before, Nikita. I remember some of this, but this is very nice, man. Like, this is one of the advices that I always give, especially for people who want to be character artists. Make sure you have multiple characters. So, we got female character, male character, another male character, armor pieces. This is really good, man. I like them. Textures are a little bit on the, like, I don't want to say boring, but they're just very uniform, right? Like, the armor has, like, a very uniform sheen to it all over the place. I would probably just add a little bit of variation, you know, rust or things like that. This is very nice, man. Nice shots here. Nice shots. Yeah, you got a lot of views. That means that people are really, like, resonating with this character. So this is great. Nice. Clay render, roughness, albedo. Nice. Okay. A little bit. Yeah, definitely AAA, right? Because of the amount of polygons. Yeah, this is excellent. Look at the packing right here, guys. This is what we want to do. This is amazing, man. Yeah, good stuff, man. Are you currently working? Yeah, there you go. You can see Nikita right there, currently working at Obelisk Studio. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what more I can tell you, man. This is really freaking good. Like, this is totally the current level, I would say, of the industry, right? Like, if you can deliver this quality, you shouldn't have any issues in finding a position as a character artist. Look at the level of detail in these things. Now, one thing I want to make very clear to this, or about this to everyone, guys, because this is one, again, of the most common things that I see on the YouTube comments, on Discord. This right here is not something that you do in a week. Not possible. It's not possible to get this level of care and this level of detail. I would like to know, I'm not sure if you're right here, my friend, but if you are on the chat, I would like to know how long each of these took. But I would say in production, to get to this level of detail, to do everything, look at that beautiful Marvelous designer. We teach all of this on the course, by the way. If you want to get to this level, it's probably like 2 or 3 months full of work. like full-time work to get to this point. So amazing, man, amazing. Just really freaking good. And this is the latest one, posted last week. Nice. Yeah, man, this is freaking good. You know your stuff, man. You totally know your stuff. One more thing I want everyone to take away from this portfolio right here. Look at how much information he's packing on this presentation renders. He always starts with a strong full render of the character, right? There we go, full renders. Then we start going to the details, amazing details. Then more close-ups. The texture on the paint is just fabulous, man. There we go. Again, another like amazing packing here for the elements. Now, I'm gonna just like, again, make a quick note here. This kind of packing, which is amazing, is not something you're gonna be able to use all the time, okay? Not every single project will allow you to have, like in this case, 6 UDIM sets for all of the elements of the character. Sometimes you're gonna have to deal with like way smaller elements. This is the hair cards over there, of course. Yeah, dude, I mean, I really don't have any more advices other than the ones that that I just mentioned. This is just top notch, man. Top notch. The next one that I would recommend personally, and again, just for like variation's sake, you might want to try doing like a monster creature so that you can show some more exaggerated like proportions on your characters, because all of this are like very traditional humanoid proportions. But yeah, man, freaking amazing job. One more little, like, again, super neat picky thing. It's just the metal edgeware. I know this is an old one. This is like 2 years ago. But just be careful about the edgeware. Remember, that's usually not as constant as we do it. But even this one, like, again, 2 years ago, and you already had, like, a really nice, like, hold on the whole pipeline. Now, I'm going to make a wild guess right here for Nikita. You have a bunch of years of experience. Like, this is not something that I normally see someone with, like, say, 2 years of experience. Like, probably when you did this character, you had at least 2 or 3 years of experience. Of course, we're not seeing all of the old work. That's fine. You can keep this one right here. So, yeah, just keep adding more stuff, man. Keep up the good work. And everyone else who's watching this and being like, oh, man, I'm never going to get there. You will get there. If you do as much work as Nikita has done to get to this point, believe me, you can get to this point. But you gotta be patient, okay? You gotta be very patient. Kitsune says, nowadays, how worried should we be about the number of vertices? It's important. Like, the number of vertices is still important, Kitsune, but it's important that you understand that it has to do more with the kind of project that you're doing. Again, if you're doing a game for Unreal Engine, it's like a AAA game, and you're gonna be what's the thing? If you're gonna be doing like again, like super advanced games, then this is totally fine. But if you're gonna be doing a VR game like what we normally do here at the studio, no way we can do this. Like the VR headset would just like crash immediately because it's just too much texture, too many polygons. So it really depends on the project. But that's an amazing portfolio. Lord Talon, what's up, man? What's up? Welcome. Let's go to the next one. Kurina says, hello, I'm the 3D domain for 2 years already. I'm currently focusing on creating 3D props of various kinds, not game industry. Also, I create animations, but I consider making a beginner level in it. I'm not really looking for a 5 to 2 job. What's a 5 to 2 job? I'm not sure. Because besides 3D, I study in a university. I don't study 3D in there. I've learned it myself, but I have a fiber profile and do models for some CD sites where I sell them. Hope to make a living of it someday. Okay, well, let's take a look. Okay, nice. So, Kurasanina. The first thing I noticed, and this is something that it's very, very common on some of these portfolios, is the fact that some of these products are, one, either way too simple, or two, not interesting enough from a visual perspective. Okay, what you're showing me here is more of a product or advertisement sort of like thing. And there's a couple of them that are being successful at it, like this perfumes right here. I think this is a nice shot. Like the colors and everything, that looks interesting. Even this like headphones right here, they look nice, right? Topology and everything, materials, that's fine. But then we have something like this, and even though this looks very nice, it kind of looks like a photo, to be honest. Like you did a good job right here. You always need to think about how to best present this so that you can sell it as a product or as an advertisement or as a piece, right? Because no one, Kurasanina, is going to see this like can right here and call you up and say, hey, I want you to do something like that for me as a project. Like, I want you to deliver this result because I'm going to be launching, I don't know, like a brand of soup or whatever. This is not what you want. So what you want to do is, for instance, soup. Or let's look for canned soup advertisement. Look at what they are doing. Okay, look at what people are doing with their art advertisements, right? And try to go for something that's a little bit more crazy. I'm not sure if this is like AI or something. Kind of looks like AI. But try to look for something that's, you know, a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting, because that's the kind of stuff that people will pay for if you present it in a way that looks more interesting. Okay, so the modeling is fine, the texturing is fine, but you definitely gotta be trying to do something a little bit more interesting. Ankajat says that you make a video of Marvel's ZBrush, please, sir. Yes, we'll be doing that. I think, didn't I? No, I haven't done it, right? No, I'll do that soon. Okay, I'll do that soon. Like this one, this whey protein in Krasanina. Like, you're not saying anything, right? Like, the light is very dull. We don't have any like highlights or any like intense effects. So we definitely need to improve a little bit on the rendering presentation. And think about this. Who is going to be buying this product? Well, people who go to the gym and want to get like super buff, right? So maybe add a couple of gym equipments over here. Add a dumbbell, add, I don't know, like some of those discs that they use for the presses. Like, make sure to sell the element within the environment that's going to be used, so that people feel more attached to whatever it is you're trying to promote. That's going to give you a better edge. And if this is the kind of stuff that you want to go for, again, advertisement, try to go and learn a little bit about advertisement. There's amazing books out there that talk about branding and again, product presentation and things like that could help you more in your career. Okay, so hope that helps. Go to the next one. This is Valentina Rueda. Hi Abe, my name is Valentina. I'm currently a 3D art student about to graduate with a focus on creating environments and props. I really like stylized art and would love the opportunity to get an internship job creating different 3D assets with that style. Let's take a look. Okay, nice. A couple of things that I immediately see here, Valentina, is that the level of complexity of some of these pieces is not up to the level that we need it to be, okay? For instance, this one right here, right? Like, I understand what you were going for. It's a sword. That's very obvious. I think everyone can see it. But even though the modeling is fine, it's such a simple shape that it's not really adding anything to your portfolio, okay? What do I mean by this? Well, you can see that in general, the shapes, for instance, the handle is a very straight handle. And that's not how models are usually done, especially for, again, advanced games. So this is one of those pieces that I would probably take out because I don't think it's helping you as much. This metals I like. This is a fine like exercise. I think the shaders are not working perfectly fine. I like the design process, that's nice, but it's just, it looks a little bit fake-ish. I'm not sure if that makes sense, right? It looks like it's made out of like plastic instead of what's the word, instead of this thing right here. So for you, one of the things that I would definitely recommend is to get the portfolio presentation workshop course. This one is of course available for everyone, it's free, and in this one we explore the different techniques that we can use to really showcase our work in the best possible light. So you might want to check this one out, Valentina, because I definitely think that by including an HDRI and playing a little bit more with the shaders of this element, you're gonna be able to get something that looks a little bit nicer. Okay, I'll bring the music a little bit down. Let's see. This one, I think it's probably one of the strongest ones that you have on your portfolio. This like Pokemon gun. I like the detail that you're adding, like the stickers and the elements. Again, rendering too dark, right? Too dull. We're not seeing that like contrast on the thing. Modeling is fine, but even here, it's a simple model. It's just a couple of cylinder and boxes, a couple of bevels here and there. Again, it's a successful one, I think, but we definitely need to increase or improve our what's the word? We need to improve our oh, man, I just lost the word. The complexity of the scenes, okay? Same for this one. Like this tires that you see right here. Like this one's right here. There's absolutely no reason to be modeling this kind of tires in 2024, okay? And sorry that I'm calling you out a little bit more directly, but I want to help you because you're going to be graduating soon. And I want you to have the most, like, like the best possibilities at landing a job. So these are way too low poly. You can definitely add a couple of more edge loops or something, or you can make something with normal maps to really give the threads of the tire a little bit more, like, you know, a little bit more things. Same for the faceting here on the elements, and you're using this in Unreal Engine, so you can definitely make this a little bit more complex. It looks very empty. One of the advices that I can give you, Valentina, is try to pick a project. I'm not sure if you're doing projects right now, but try to pick projects that are a little bit more like easy to do, but not so easy as this one right here. So this, like, I think you just did this little like Valorant thing. This is, to me, and again, hopefully you don't take this the wrong way, to me this just looks like an exercise, like something that you were like, oh, I have 1 or 2 hours, let me just do this. It's not going to be enough to set your portfolio apart from everyone else. So we really need to focus on something that's a little bit more complex. One of the advices that I always give is this, and this is relatively simple, but again, relatively complex. There's this Matt Dixon robots series. Like, he does robots every single year, and there's some of them that are very cool. Like, I've seen so many variations of this. I actually think I did this one a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, just find one of these robots that looks cool for you, like this one right here. This is amazing, and try to do it yourself. Okay, I'm actually gonna download this one as well. That's a good one for some exercises too. So yeah, like, try to pick a project, Valentina, and I have a couple of videos here on the channel that you can reference that really helps you on making sure that your portfolio will stand out from everyone else's. Okay, that's what we want to do. Let's see, do we have any more messages? Says, Harpiat says, hey, do you have any advice or tutorial about how haircuts are actually made in production for games? There's a ton of tutorials about it, but with so strange methods. Yeah, so the best or fastest way that I've found is using this software called Fibershop. I actually haven't bought it yet. I might do it, I'm not sure, soon. But this is probably the fastest way to generate the haircuts. Because what this thing does is it procedurally generates all of the hair strands and then generates all of the maps that you need. So your normal map, specular, albedo, cavity, all of the things. I have a video here on the YouTube channel on how I do this process with Action, but it's a little bit of an old method nowadays, I would say. It's still very good if you don't want to pay extra for this software. But and this is, of course, not a sponsor or anything, but this is a very good one, I think, a very good option to generate all of the haircuts. Once you generate the haircuts, then you need to place the haircuts, and that's one of the tricky parts of the process. That's one of the time-consuming parts, and there's nothing like the best result that you're gonna get is just like manually placing the haircuts. It's one of those things that's definitely time-consuming, but if you do it right, you're gonna get a very nice result. Today's Monday, Friday, you work the next two. Oh, okay, there you go, Kurasianina. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, I've never heard that term before. Hopefully the tips that I just mentioned are helping you there. Yeah, it's pretty cheap, right, Wolf Girl? I might get it for Black Friday. That might not be a bad investment, to be honest. Okay, let's go to the next one. This was Cameron Eddie. Oh, Cameron. So I helped Cameron a couple of months ago. We had a mentorship session, and he's doing some really cool things. So we've seen him before. Some of you might remember his work. Let me just check the message here. I'm a 3D prop artist currently seeking my first industry role with a focus on games, film, TV, or advertising. My expertise is in hard surface modeling and photorealistic texturing. Recently, I've been honing my skills in game production, especially optimizing models for game-ready assets. Let's take a look. Yeah, so the last piece that I remember, and I'm not sure if this was on the old channel or if we did it on this one, is this telephone right here. And I remember telling cameras, like, dude, this is so sick. Like, the amount of detail, the resolution on the textures, this is really good. We might not be able to get away with this resolution for games. It's a little bit on the, what's the word, on the high quality side of things. But this, and this is again a lesson for everyone, guys. Remember how anytime I tell you to do an asset, I always tell you, make sure you include it in a little scene? This is what I mean. So he modeled this very nice telephone, but he also modeled that like portrait, this like cane, the curtain, the trims on the back wall, the wallpapers right there, the table. That really makes it feel like this thing is actually, again, sort of like inside an environment. It makes it feel like it's part of a product or of a finalized piece, not just, hey, I did an asset and that's it. So this is the kind of stuff that if you have the chance and the time, you should always try to do. That's one of the pieces that I love. Now, this is what I was working with him during our mentorship sessions. This is such an amazing concept and weapon. It's a Samsara cycle. So this one looks very, very nice. Again, super optimized. We're working a little bit on optimization. I really like it. Yeah, this is just very, very good. I don't remember how many triangles we had on this one in particular. You might just want to include that as a final note here, Cameron, just like the amount of triangles. But all of the details here, the detail on the textures, the detail on the elements, yeah, it's so good. The table and picture frame are mega scan. Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't care. Like, here's the thing, people don't care if you include things that are not yours on your renders. Like, if the table and the cane and the portrait are mega scans, that's fine. Of course, you do need to include that on the description. Make sure you add that. But here's the thing, like, I know that if you could do the phone, you can easily do the cane or the table, even the portraits. Maybe that's like a little, like, again, like, complicated thing right there, the little detail, but it really doesn't matter too much, okay? So yeah, 6K for this weapon, perfectly fine, Cameron, perfectly fine. And let's take a look at this one right here. This is the new one, right? Like the knife. Nice. Oh man, this looks so sick. Again, very photorealistic. Love the cardboard box as well as for the background. Really clean. Yeah, this is nice. Game ready. I would probably, if possible, try to minimize a couple of the triangles right here. It feels a little bit dense. This triangulation right here, it's fine. I can kind of see that there's a bevel going around, but I'm not sure if it's the bevel or if it's a... what's the word? If it's just the textures. Yeah, this is good. Again, for like a Call of Duty or like a Battlefield or something like that, like a AAA stuff, this is perfectly fine. But if you try to do this for like Free Fire on the phones, right, this is not gonna work. Fanfic do you know how many, there we go, 6K tries, 13K tries. You have a little too much tries on the sheet itself. I mean, I understand why, because there's a lot of like loops and things. But like those, here, this let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, see that loop right there that goes down the middle, Cameron? That loop right there? You can delete that one. That one's not doing anything. Again, it's not changing the silhouette, it's not modifying anything. You can change that one. Same for this one right there. Same for this one right there. Like the loops that go right there in the middle, you can definitely change that. And then on this ones, I'm not sure how many sides each like torus has. But if it's like 24, you can probably minimize that to like 16 or 18 or something like that. That's gonna help. Same for like this thing right here. You might be able to delete one of these edge loops and keep most of the shapes like intact. Okay, here's another one. Oh, this is, everyone's gonna like this one. Look at this, Cameron. So, can you see this line right here? This one right here going all the way into here. And then going all the way into here, right? Like that line. Hopefully everyone can see it. Well, the thing is, this point right here does nothing. All of these points right here on this flat area, they do nothing. It's only until we get to this curvature right here, where we get this sort of like flared out effect, that we actually need an extra edge loop so that we don't have like a super faceted cut right there, right? So what you can do here, this is a very common, again, simplification thing, is just this vertex and this vertex, collapse them together. Okay, so you pretty much delete all of this line. So we're gonna delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're gonna delete 13 squares. We're gonna collapse 13 squares, and that's gonna reduce 26 polygons. Okay, because remember, each square is 2 triangles, so it counts as 2 triangles. And then we can do the exact same thing for this one right here. So by just collapsing all of those lines, we just removed not 23 but 46 triangles. Okay, I know it doesn't sound like much, but when you start doing that more and more, again, on all of the areas that really don't need it, like all of these things right here, you will get a more optimized asset. Now, will things start looking very crazy where you're gonna have like very long triangles and very like flat faces? Yes, but again, for an object that's not gonna deform, it's gonna be a game asset, and you want to optimize as much as possible, that's perfectly fine. If this was for subdivision surface, that's a whole different story, okay? So just keep that in mind. Again, I don't think you need to go back and fix this one, Cameron. It's perfectly fine, but you definitely want to keep that in mind for next projects. Now, the best advice I can give you, and I think I gave you this one back in the day when I did your first portfolio review, you need to try to grab, because I know you can do very good textures and very like specific like silhouettes and everything, but you need to really try doing something that's a little bit more complex. A perfect example for you, a tank. Like, I know it's gonna take you a while, and it doesn't have to be like a real tank. It could be like a tank concept art, right? Like something from Warhammer, or I don't know, like something that looks a little bit more interesting. But try doing something that's really, really, really complex. Because here, what you're showing me is that you're very good at attention to detail, but now I need to see that you can handle, again, big projects, okay? Big elements. I know that these are like, or like a turret, right? Like, that's another one that could work very nicely. Turret, concept art. Sorry about this, guys. There we go. Something like this, right? Something that has a little bit more pieces, a couple more pieces, more elements that move together. All of these things can really, really make it stand out more. Because remember that ArtStation specifically, it's not like a popularity concept, or contest. When people are looking at the page with all of the assets, if they don't see something that really catches their eye, they're just gonna scroll past it. So from all of this right here, the 3 or 4 that really catch my eye are the phone, this thing right here, the Jamara, which again, we might want to improve the thumbnail so that we can really see the whole weapon, and the knife. Like, those are the ones that I would click. This one, even though it's a fun, like, sword, I've seen so many swords that it really doesn't interest me. This one doesn't tell me anything, again, on the thumbnail. This one, again, doesn't tell me too much on the thumbnail. And this one is also sort of like simple, right? So be very mindful about what kind of projects we pick, because that could very well be one of the deciding factors on whether the people click on your stuff or not. Okay, Cameron, Eddie? I hope that helps. The most advice that I give for UV mapping, I just released a video this week, Confusion, on the YouTube channel. It's like a 40-minute video about like my UV process, so you might want to check that one out. Let's go to the next one. Jean-Claude Lom. Oh, this is Spanish. Un placer. Before all, thanks for this opportunity. I'm recently graduated 3D from Artist Rubica, Montreal, school here in Canada where I'm located. 2 intense years in 2D, mainly making short films and characters, and still 3D. I just love making characters and see how they turn out live. I will appreciate to hear your comments and recommendations. I am pushing 2 new full characters that ideally will help me hit a nice job as soon as possible. Let's take a look. Okay. This one I don't love. The reason I don't love it is the render. Pretty much the render. Textures are not that bad, but they're a little bit too saturated. I don't know, it just looks a little bit weird. I'm not sure if you were following a concept. The models seem a little bit on the basic side of things. So I'm not sure if that's a very successful piece. The Gardener, Wildflower Short. Yeah, we definitely need to improve a little bit more on the characters, man. I'm gonna show you in just a second what I mean by that. Like, this is very cool. The fact that you know the full process, right? Like blend shapes and rigging and animation, that's pretty nice. Like, it looks to me like you're going for this, or like a generalist role. But here's the thing. Like, if I take a look at the character, there's a lot of definition that we're missing, especially from an anatomy perspective. Okay? And this is one, like, very interesting, like, thing. When we're doing or dealing with stylized characters doesn't necessarily mean soft characters like what we have right here. So one thing that we can do is we can definitely, you know, like, play with the forms that anatomy gives us. Okay. Oh. You can still keep the sort of like strong silhouettes, right? Like this sort of like cartoony silhouette. But we gotta be able to see, you know, something, a little bit of definition on the body. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult, right? A good example of this is like a Stoic from DreamWorks, right? Stoic, How to Train Your Dragon. So the death, if you take a look at the death, and you see the models that they did for the death, yes, he looks soft, right? But you can still see the muscles on the arms, so like the forms of the characters. Even this like guy right here, the body that he has, you can see the deltoid, you can see the bicep, you can see the tricep. So it's not just like a cylinder just goes in and creates the whole thing. There's definition and there's forms to it. So that's the kind of thing that you definitely want to try and add here. And another thing that's, again, very important, especially in shoes, I see this all the time. Make sure that they look flat. Right now, they look very, very round on the ground, and that can be, again, a little bit problematic, okay? Again, I really like the fact that you're going for the whole thing. You're going for animation, you're going for rendering, you're going for everything. But we definitely need to clean up our forms a little bit more, okay? Now, this is something that I see quite common in schools, and I'm not blaming you or anything, but there's a lot of situations where students are taking a specific like program, and then they do what you mentioned in your message. They pivot to 3D at the end of the program, so it's kind of like they're just starting 3D at the end of their bachelor's or whatever, right? So it's very important that you understand that you will need to invest way more time on all of the skills related to 3D, like modeling, sculpting, rendering, texturing, so that you can get even better results. The good thing is you already have a good idea. Hopefully you've learned about like storyboard and design and things like that. So it's probably a good idea to use all of those skills in your next projects. But be very smart about what projects you pick, okay? Let's see. Does making a 3D model based on real life references good or bad? I recently talked with a weapon artist from GAT Studios who used to hire elites as well. What he advised me not to make real replica. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun idea. Like one of my favorite like rifles from like war games is the M1 Grand, right? It's like a very fun one. So if you're just starting and you want to look for some references and try to do it yourself, that's fun. But to be honest, most of these weapons, most of the real weapons have been modeled already. So again, studios can just buy them online, and they can buy like even like the blueprints that they use to fabricate them. So they're gonna be like precise to the millimeter, right? So in those cases, it's better to just look for a weapon concept art. Yeah, you're gonna, again, it's gonna stand out more if you do a weapon that has never been done before. It's just like part of the deal. So if you want to do a real weapon, that's fine. It's gonna work. But I think I agree with that person you talked that it's better, or you might encounter more challenging things that show how good of a modeler or a like prop artist you are if you do something that does not exist, because you're gonna have to figure out a lot of things. Let's see. What kind of project would you recommend that could match my style? Janlo. Yeah, definitely something like a Fortnite skin or something similar. Like if you look for stylized character concept art, you should find something that looks like a little bit more interesting. You can even go with like cartoon characters like this one. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with something like Pixar style. But yeah, like something like this is perfectly fine. Let's see. Like if you want to do like something like this, right? See again how the forms and all of the muscles and things are working a lot nicer. Like even this one right here, this one's right here. Like there's a lot of like concepts online that are very stylized. Like if that's what you want to go for, that's fine, but we gotta like really focus on the silhouette. And again, not trying to do too many commercials here, but if you want to do something a little bit more stylized, then this one right here, the Oni course, might be a good start for you, so that you can like polish some of your ZBrush skills a little bit more, because we do focus on something that's not as realistic. Okay, hope that helps, my friend. Is there a formula to personal style discovery? Max Swag. Oh, that's a great question. And yes, there is an answer to that. So, personal style is the combination of your personal experience, your skills, and your knowledge. Okay? Very important. 3 things. Personal knowledge, or rather personal experiences, skills, and knowledge. Personal experience, it's what's really gonna make you unique, because you have the games that you like, the films that you like, the type of art that you like, the things that you resonate with. Skills and knowledge, the other 2 very important factors, pretty much everyone's gonna have a similar sort of like level. But the very important thing that people forget, and I see this every single time, especially in new students when they're getting into the first courses at university, they think that the first one, personal experiences or personal style, is the most important one. I don't agree. The reason why I don't agree is because it's very difficult to evaluate that. However, if you have strong foundations in your skills and strong foundations in your knowledge, you will be able to then use your personal experiences to create something of your own. A perfect example of this from my point of view is, for instance, the dragon head that I've been doing. Someone was asking about this manga, right? So this is a dragon. It's an old like a thumbnail that we did for it like a couple of months ago. it has a lot of influence from World of Warcraft, for instance, because that's sort of like part of the things that I liked and the things that I resonate with. It might have some like things that have to do with like League of Legends or games like that, because I like the sort of like stylized, exaggerated, larger than life things. So when I do things, that thing resonates, but I need to be a master of form. I need to be a master of like design. I need to understand animal anatomy. I need to understand the softwares so that I can really express myself and create something that looks the way I want it to look, right? So here, let me show you. So this one right here. So it's very important that you understand this, that you need those 3 pillars, but you really need to invest on the foundations of skills and knowledge before you start developing that sense of your own sort of way of creating things, okay? Again, a lot of people want to sort of like jump that step and go directly into creating their own style when they don't even know what styles are out there. It's kind of like if you go to a restaurant, right, and you want to taste like the best dish there. Well, you're not going to know what the best dish is unless you get a little bit of a taste of everything else. Once you have a good informed decision of all of the different dishes, then you're going to be able to say, this is the thing that I like the most, this is the thing that I resonate with the most, this is what I want to order, right? I know we can't do that all the time, but it's very similar to a lot of things in life. Music as well, right? Like you need to first listen to a bunch of things and then realize, hey, this is what I really like. I'm gonna give you another example. We talked about music the other day, like right on last on last stream, and I was mentioning that I'm sort of like a metalhead. I like to listen to heavy rock and heavy metal, symphonic rock, symphonic metal, all of these things. But a couple of years ago, someone introduced me to jazz, and jazz to me was always like, I don't think I'm gonna like jazz. And I really like jazz. It's really nice. It might not be my first pick, but it's definitely one music that if I hadn't heard it, if I hadn't been informed, if I didn't have that knowledge, I would just like not even use it at any point or get influenced by it at any point. So the same thing happens with art. That's why you need to study the masters, you need to study art history, you need to study all of these things and see what people are doing so that you can inform your own style and grow from there. Okay? Hope that makes sense, my friends. Time, experience plus skill plus likes. Yep, that's a style. Exactly, my friend. That's pretty much it. Very well. Let's go with the next one. Spartan Andrew says, hey, thanks for the chance. It's been a year since I graduated. I'm still looking for a chance to enter the industry. I'm always looking for ways to improve my work, so here's my portfolio. I'm a 3D art specialist in props for games. I can do either stylized or hard surface modeling. Currently working on the biggest model I've ever done, a Falcon from Halo Reach. Let's take a look. Cool. Yeah, similar thing that we've been mentioning, my friend. And this is again, it's an unfortunate situation. I understand. Oh, you're from Mexico. Oh, yeah, Mr. Malo. When I see a portfolio, what I want to see is something that I haven't seen before or that's being expressed in a different way. Okay? Because if I see this right here, my friend, these are things that I've seen before. So the only reason, and again, I'm hopefully not being too harsh on this comment, but the only reason why I would call you is if I need someone who can do this. But I've seen so many portfolios, and this tells me that there's so many people out there that can do something like this. Okay? So this is not that's not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that the models or anything are wrong. I'm just saying that you need to find a way to differentiate yourself from someone else. Now, if we look to, or if we go to the technical side of things, some of the modeling is definitely on the little bit of a weaker side. Like this one right here. Looks cool. Texture, I don't love. Looks a little bit soft, and I don't understand the materials, okay? This crystal bow right here. I'm not sure I love the design of this thing. Modeling wise, it's again fine, but it kind of looks like you try to model everything from a single piece. This is not how we really do things nowadays, Andres, so you might want to take a look into that. Same for this one, magic staff. I don't see anything. It just, it doesn't resonate with me, okay? And I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm a little bit like messed up in my mind, but this things on the top part right there, man, they look a little bit weird, if you know what I mean. So maybe I'm just like again, very messed up. But yeah, this is not something that again, that resonates with me. Texturing, it's fine. It looks okay. We can definitely improve. It looks a little bit dirty. Like, see that much variation of the glossiness? Like, for instance, these areas right there have barely any variation on the glossiness. That's a little bit, again, like, not ideal. And then topology-wise is relatively fine, but yeah. Yeah, I think from all of this one's it's a better one. At least the modeling, it's a little bit more complex. There's definitely more elements. This is not game ready though. This is just like again, a model, like a product render. And again, we definitely need to improve the renders on this thing right here. Now this one right here, I like it a little bit more. It looks a little bit more interesting. Again, from a game perspective, I really like the little core right there, like the sun, like a little sun. That looks nice. And I like that you added the animation. The bandage is probably the weakest part of this one, to be honest. Yeah, but that one's actually a little bit... That one would benefit very, very nicely from a hand-painted approach, to be honest. And then we have this UNCS, like, gun. Let's take a look. Okay. Okay, optimization is fine. I like it. Like, very well optimized. Yeah, very, very nicely optimized. You might want to optimize a couple of more of this, like, bubbles right there. Just a little nitpick right there. But yeah, this is 28,000 triangles for, like, the whole thing. Feels about right. So yeah, this is definitely the most ambitious one. I really like this one. I think this one is a little bit more successful than some of the others. So yeah, if you're working on that one, man, on the... Again, on the... Halo Reach Falcon, I don't remember exactly what kind of vehicle it was. That could definitely be a boost for your project. And you're one of the like, some of the few portfolios that I do mention that it might be a good idea to remove some of them. So I will probably just take this 2 out. I don't think they're helping you as much, okay? Another thing that I recommend, guys, and again, this is from a sort of like professional business perspective, is that this thing right here, you might want to add your picture. Like, people want to know who you are. It makes it so that you're not just like a random guy on the internet, and there's actually someone behind this artwork, okay? Hope that helps. Go to the next one. That was a Spartan Andrew. Excommunicado. Hey, Bishwas here. I'm an environmental weapon artist with a knack for creating realistic models and textures. My main focus is on making assets that feel grounded and detailed, whether it's environment or weapons. I recently wrapped up my master's in game design this year. Give me a lot to take a look at my portfolio. Let's take a look. Okay. First impression, it's a little bit all over the place. Because I see 2 weapons, I see 2 environments, and then I see this thing right here. Ripped off frontal lobe. What is this? I finally made an extensive game which includes almost everything I've learned so far. It's a fun game where I focus on the following areas. First person playing character with basic character's movements, a different gun. Okay. Well, that's impressive. Let's take a look. Okay. Let me see. Do we have full HD? Yes. It's a little bit too much motion blur there for my liking. I mean, I always applaud when people do this sort of like ambitious things where they can like create a lot of things. Oh, that's nice. Like, if you did everything here, like all of the development, the coding, the programming, that's really, really impressive. It's not easy. It's not easy to do the whole thing. And I'm gonna give you my advice in just a second. Yeah, this is fun, man. Yeah, who doesn't like shooting some zombies, right? Nice. Okay, scale is a little bit weird there. See how the stairs look massive compared to the zombies? They look a little bit too massive. Yeah, this is not bad, man. I really like it. I think this is a good job. All of the systems and everything. My advice here then would be, or my question would be, what do you want to focus on? Right? Because I'm not sure if you want to be a game designer or if you want to be a 3D artist. It's not that you can't do both. It's just that it's important to understand that you only have so much time and you really want to focus on one specific part of the process, right? So for instance, this gun, it looks like a nice model, right? Like the construction. We definitely need some more realistic textures, and this doesn't look like it's like optimized for games. So that will be another thing that we need to take into account. Grim 3D environment. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to me that you have a good understanding of the softwares already, Bishwas, but you're missing the polish stage, okay? So we really need to work a little bit more on the quality of things. Like this thing right here, right? Like we have metal edge everywhere, which we always like a joke around on the server. It's just too much stuff right here. So my best advice for you, Bishwas, is sit down, do a little bit of thinking, and really answer or ask yourself the question, what do I want to do? Do I want to do 3D art for games? Or do I want to do games, right? Because, again, they're not exactly the same. And once you have that decision, then I might be able to help you out a little bit more. Because right now, it's a little bit difficult for me to really figure out what you really want to do. It kind of looks like you do want to do 3D art. And in that case, my best advice is polish, okay? We need to work on polishing the whole thing. Pablo Raz, what's up, man? Welcome. Let's say... Yes, it's tutorial. It's fine. It's actually. I would encourage people, if you follow the tutorial, make sure to mention the tutorial, because otherwise people can be again, like it could be like a bait and switch. So yeah, definitely Alexander mentioned that it was from a tutorial. However, it's better to show pieces that were made by things. Okay, yeah, so if you want to do more 3D stuff, man, it's just polish, because you already have the knowledge about the softwares, and you have some very cool thing, which is the knowledge about the pipeline, because you've integrated this into actual like games or demos. So you definitely want to make sure, V, to polish things a little bit more. Like this model right here, this is an excellent model. Go through the full pipeline, do the proper retopology and optimization, do the textures, and this is an excellent weapon that could be part of your portfolio, okay? That's another big advice that I'd like to give everyone, guys. You don't always need to go back or you don't always need to start a new project completely from scratch. As we do a lot of these exercises and these projects, it might come to a point where you go back and grab some of the pieces you had before, like a couple of years ago, and then you just redo them. Let me show you one example where I actually did that not too long ago. So... all of you guys remember Door, right? Like the dwarf from our Substance Painter course. So Door right here is actually the same door from here. This dwarf prisoner door that I did 10 years ago, I just went back into the tools, grabbed the C tool that it had like the body elements, and I just reworked it, like did a little bit more sculpting so that I could improve all of the new skills, and that's how I made the face and the body for this character. But it's the exact same dwarf. You might be able to tell or see some of like that one. Can you see that little like dimple that he has there on the arm? Like if we go back to this one right here. Oh no, it's too far away, but you will be able to tell, because it's it's one very like particular piece that this character had. I did delete some of like the scars and things like that, but it's the exact same character. So you don't need to do everything from scratch every single time. You can start with something that you already have and just reuse it and show how all of the new skills that you have can now be applied to this new project. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Oh, sorry about that. V is asking, while playing games or watching movies, I often analyze environments and effects, thinking about replicating them in 3D. How can I better showcase this inspiration to creation process? Just like that, like just do, like if you watch like a BFX thing in Overwatch and you want to do it and you do your own version of it, you can add a little GIF at the end saying, I was playing Overwatch, I saw this effect and I tried to replicate it in the best like possible story. Yeah, that's right, Solid Mango. The door storylines are like continued from that picture to like the next one. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Gold Leafer says, hi Abe, you can call me Game as a nickname. I'm from Thailand and I have 3 years of experience as a rigger. Unfortunately, due to some unfortunate events in our industry, I'm currently unemployed. However, I'm determined to start a new journey as a 3D modeler or 3D generalist. My primary focus has been on creating high-quality game-ready assets, including both characters and hard surface models. My goal is to enhance my technical skills or artistic vision to meet the demands of AAA. Let's take a look. So something about the industry there, several rejections, really appreciate. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a look. Okay, cool. Yeah, so your case is a little bit interesting because if you're already a rigger, one of the things that I would love to see here are rigs. Like, riggers are one of those things that people really look forward to because not everyone wants to be a rigger, and there's usually a big need for riggers. Now, one thing that I see here, my friend, and I would strongly recommend to go through a self-analysis process, is that the quality of a lot of these things is not good. Okay, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. This is not working, right? Like this one right here. It just looks blobby. It looks like it doesn't have any forms attached to it. I know you went with some textures and things like that, but it's just, this is not working, right? Like, I could never see a game using that asset, or like this one right here, gargantual crab. It's just, I don't know, man. And I don't know how long it took you to do this, but this kind of like just looks like a very basic blocking that you can do in like a couple of hours. So I definitely encourage you to try to do something a little bit closer to the Tyros character, okay? Like, I applaud that you were able to finish this project right here. It's not an easy project. There's definitely things that we do need to improve on, but it looks like you understand the general pipelines. For you, we definitely need to focus on forms, okay? Your forms are all over the place, especially for characters. Your assets are fine, like this one right here. This is a nice one. I like this one. You did a great job on this one. Topology is fine. Nice, like a combination of like bakes. You can definitely optimize this a little bit more. You don't need too many polygons. I love the textures. Textures look very nice. But then I look at like this character right here, and it's not working for me, okay? It's not working for me. I don't think it matches the quality. Same for this one right here. It's a tone. Like, I don't know. It kind of looks like, I don't know. I don't want to say it because I don't want to sound rude, but it just doesn't look like a good project for your portfolio. And the thing is, you have a bunch of them right here. So as a recruiter, like if I'm looking at this as a recruiter from the recruiter's point of view, this just seems, and I am gonna say it again, don't take this personal, but it just looks very unprofessional, okay? It looks unprofessional because I have a lot of stuff here in this portfolio that's just not good quality. Like this one right here. This is not working, right? Like I don't think I would ever see this on the game. It looks like one of those games like 10-year-olds are trying to make with Roblox or things like that. So this is not what I recommend you to have on your portfolio. Really go in here and start deleting a lot of things that don't work. Now, if you want to do characters, if you want to do more stuff like this, we definitely need to start working more on our anatomy, okay? The anatomy portions of things, because the anatomy is just not working for a lot of these elements right here. Now, there's nothing wrong with going into just assets. If you just want to do assets, go for it, Gold. But I think the quality is not there yet. And especially nowadays where the market is like really like dire, like the situation in the industry is quite complicated. Stuff like this is not going to fly. And again, I'm sorry to be using you as an example. Please don't take this personal. But here's the thing. If you tell me you have been facing several rejections, well, it's mainly because of this. The quality that I see on these pieces is not on the quality that I would like to bring into a studio, okay? And I'm gonna go full screen again for this one. You guys gotta be very mindful about this. When you're working for someone or for a studio, right? What the studio wants is they want to have the least amount of issues, the least amount of problems, the least amount of feedback for you. They just want to say, hey, you do this, tell me how long it's going to take, and once you finish it, I just want to see it, be sure it's right, and put it into the production, right? That's what people are looking for in studios. They don't want to be coaching you, and I think that's a very entitled view that we have, and this is partly a fault of schools. I think every single school where we think we deserve a shot when we're not ready for that shot, right? So you need to prove that you know the stuff properly before you get the shot at doing it. This is not one of those careers where you can just learn on the go, because it's so fast. Like the production timelines and the speed at which we work, it's so fast that I just don't have time to teach you, right? Like if I were to take you right now, my friend, as an intern here at the studio, I would need to spend a lot of time making sure that you understand the proper like proportions, forms, and things like that. where it's easier to just find someone who already knows that and let them know, hey, I need you to do this, and hope that they do it, right? So you gotta be very honest with yourself, and hopefully with the feedback that I'm giving you right now, that forms and proportions in anatomy is one of the things that you're showing some opportunity areas right now. Work on that, right? Work on that, because you don't want to be the guy that gets hired by a studio and then does not perform at the level that they're expecting and gets fired like 2 or 3 weeks after that. It sucks. Unfortunately, it happens a lot, but it's important that you are, again, very honest with yourself and push your skill to the next level. Let's see. Yeah, I'm using my Overwatch beanie now. It's cold over here. Like, it suddenly got really, really cold. Satlan says, man, I wish you live in my country so I could pay you with my currency and learn from you all day. Where are you from, Satlan? Where are you from? There we go. Yeah, that's another short right there. Oh man, I don't know. David and I, we've talked about this quite a bit, and I'm not sure if it's a generational thing, or if it's a like capitalism thing or something. I don't know. It's just like there's a lot of and I'm not saying this for you, my friend. I'm not talking specifically about you, Setawut. But a lot of people think that, oh, I took a course. I took like a 3-month course on 3D. Now I want to work for Pixar. That's not how it works. Like, Pixar's not gonna hire you just because you took a 3-month course on 3D. So it's very, very important that we understand that for us to really get to the big projects and to the cool things, you definitely need to work on your skills. You need to be an asset yourself. That's the secret, I think. You need to make sure that what you bring to the table is helpful for the product. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay, that's how it is. You look, you're ready to throw some bars. Oh no. There we go. Already started. Yeah. The discount is going to be available until Monday, so you can use it throughout the full weekend. You can use it multiple times for as many courses as you want to get. So 30% for all courses. Black Friday 24 is the code there. Okay, let's go to the next one. Hi, my name is Dario. I'm from Spain. As you can see, I'm a 3-character artist and recently graduated and trying to get a job on the industry. I know the times are rough, but this is my dream goal, so I'm not going to stop till I get there. Nice. That's the attitude. I'm really excited about your review. There's always space for improving, and your advices are the best. I focus on sculpting and game-ready characters. Let's take a look. Let's see. I'm looking for a when they're coming down. We'll appreciate their finger collectible. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. I can see where this is going. Mind Flayer. Nice. Here's a very common mistake that I see. This is anatomy related. So a very common mistake that people make about arms is that biceps and triceps, they do... A very common mistake people do is biceps and triceps, they can be a little bit tricky. The bicep, of course, is going to be here on the front, but the tricep is going to be on the back, and it's usually a little bit further back. So when you see it from the side, this is going to be like the deltoid, and then the bicep is going to be right here, and the tricep is going to be higher up. There's a little bit of an angle. Can you see that? So what I would expect to see here is just a little bit more of the tricep right there. Just a little bit more, okay? Because otherwise it looks a little bit too soft. And be very careful with the elbow. That elbow is going way, way too far forward. So the elbow would be more like at this position right there. Then, of course, we need to give a little bit more definition to some of the muscles right there to improve this a little bit more. But it's a fun character. Similar to what I just mentioned to the other submitter, the other student just a couple of minutes ago, we definitely need to improve on our forms a little bit. Like the anatomy definitely needs to be improved a little bit more. I'm not sure if you did the full process for this one. It kind of looks like you didn't. Kind of looked just like poly paint. Yeah, ZBrush, Photoshop, and Marmoset. It's a fun project. I applaud the fact that you did like a full body and pose and everything. That's fine. But we definitely need to improve a little bit more on the anatomy, okay, my friend? Similar to what I mentioned to someone a little bit earlier about like stylized stuff. Just because it's stylized, it doesn't mean that the forms should not be there. That the forms should not be strong. I like the fact that you rig it. That's pretty nice. But again, it's the anatomy and the forms that need a little bit more polish, okay? Then we have this alien right here. Nice. This is a little bit nicer. It's a collectible for 3D print that can work. And then here I see nice improvements. Again, on the anatomy, this is looking a little bit better. Still, we gotta work a little bit more on the definition of the muscles. Also, be very careful with the bump. People exaggerate the bump, especially on the skin, a little bit too much. And careful here with the depth of field, man. Too much depth of field. It looks a little bit too blobby. And see, this is something that I really cover on the anatomy course. We here in Mexico, a very famous show is Dragon Ball Z. Like, it became almost like a religion when I was growing up. I didn't get to watch it because my parents didn't like it, so it was sort of like prohibited from us. But of course, it's so like ingrained in our culture that we all know who these characters are. And one interesting thing about this is I remember when we were kids and people were drawing like Dragon Ball characters, they will always do the show like arms like this. They will draw the arms like this, right? Like if they're drawing like Goku or whatever, they'll do this thing, very blobby thing, because we think about muscles and we think about this roundness and this sort of like puffed up effects, when in reality muscles are a little bit more like chisel elements. Like if you start drawing muscles in a more, again, chisel like way, similar to what George Bridgman does, then you can start adding this smoothness and all of the elements and effects to really make something that looks a little bit more interesting, and it looks stronger. You get a stronger, more defined silhouette. And this is something that you need to do in sculpture as well. And it's tricky, don't get me wrong, it's tricky. It's one of those things that really takes a little bit of time to really grasp and really be able to portray in your sculpts. But this is what I'm seeing right here. Like everything looks very bubbly, right? Like very soft and very inflated everywhere. And we gotta try to define the muscles in a more, again, strong way. One of the best like references that I always recommend is CrossFit. Like if you go for CrossFit references, you're gonna see physiques that are more chiseled, right? Like if you take a look at this guy right here, I'm not sure if they're using any substance, I don't care. I just see the silhouettes and the forms of their bodies, and they look way more chiseled, right? Like they look really strong, like really beefy, compared to, for instance, bodybuilders. I'm not saying you can't use bodybuilders for your reference. If you're doing something like the Hulk or something like that, then sure, go for it. But you can see the difference, right? Like bodybuilders like Arnold here, they look like inflated, like a little bit balloony, bubbly, which they're also very strong. I'm not going to deny that, but it's a different kind of feel than when we see with a more sort of like natural, realistic kind of body. So for Pyramid Head here, I think he would benefit more from a more, again, like realistic, strong, not as bubbly effect for the anatomy. Now, Dario, a big advice that I can give you here, since you're going into this character route, remember, we need female characters as well, we need male characters, and you want to show a character that has maybe a lot of props, like armor pieces or leather pieces, something that makes him look a little bit more complex. That definitely helps with portfolios as well. So yeah, hope that helps. That's Michelin for French people, they know, there you go, yeah. The whole of the game time with Goku, yeah, no, DBC is just like so big. There we go. Next one. Ken C. My name is Ken and I'm a recent 3D character art graduate with a focus on stylish characters. Still working on my portfolio before applying for jobs here in Canada, but would like some advice on what I can improve. Let's take a look. Nice. Nice. I like this one. This one's fun. Okay, I don't like the beard. I'm gonna explain why in just a second. Okay. Oh, you're from Think Tank. Nice. A small note, guys. I'm currently working with Think Tank as well. I'm a mentor there. I'm currently mentoring 2 students. So if you are in Think Tank or you're a Think Tank student and you're gonna have your mentorship term on February, I think it starts the next one. I do have slots available if you want me to be your mentor throughout that process. So if you like my style, if you like the way I give feedback and stuff like that, and you're at Think Tank, then we can work together there. Yeah, this looks very nice as well. Okay, so what I see here, man, is if you want to do stylized stuff, one thing that you can definitely start looking into is a little bit of hand-painted stuff, okay? Because this is a good character. It's a fun character. I could definitely see it in the game as an enemy. Like the anatomy, proportions, everything looks good. It's just that the materials, they look very fakish, right? Like they look very, again, I don't know, like too saturated, maybe too something. So it's one of those things that I would definitely like try to do a little bit more hand painted style. Best software for hand painted thing is of course, what's the word? 3D Code. So if we start doing this, for instance, I was starting to watch Arcane yesterday, but I couldn't do it. I was very tired, like the second season. I'll probably be watching it this weekend. So see how I'm adding a little bit of texture here on the shadows, which is like hand painted style. That's the kind of stuff that we want to add. And it can really help to sell the effect that this is a little bit more stylized. And a lot of people are pivoting, well, not a lot of people, but people are realizing how cool and how timeless like hand painted stuff is nowadays. So it's another area that not a lot of people do because it's tricky. It's not something that you can do in just one sitting. It definitely requires a lot more work. So here, I know it's a very like minor change, but hopefully you guys can see how much more like character we're adding to the textures just by giving it a little bit of pass on the what's the word, on the hand painted stuff. So imagine if we do this like little like correction everywhere, like on every single part of the character, it's just gonna bring it to a whole new life, right? Like a whole new thing. Are you gonna do a 3D code course? Maybe we'll do it. Pyramid Head is glass in the drawing by Michelangelo. What Pyramid Head was based on the drawing by Michelangelo. There you go. Yeah, and all of this can, because they're fine. I really like them, but I just feel like again you could benefit a little bit more from a hand painted style. Yeah, you get a good understanding of forms and everything. Optimization seems fine as well. Now, what I was gonna say for this one right here is that I don't like, and I know this is a little bit like older, 2 years ago, like this fiber thing, it just looks very weird. So just like do traditional like little clumps of hair, and that's gonna be way better. I really like this one as well, this Green Knight. Nice. Yeah, your forms are fine, man. It's just maybe like just see it as an option. I'm not saying you have to pivot and do hand painted now. No. You can totally keep it this way. Just keep it in mind because it could really like help you out, especially if you want to do stylized stuff. Can this hand painted effect be achieved in Substance, or no? It's better recommended to do it in 3D Code. Substance. The problem is that the brush in Substance works very weird. Like it looks, or it just doesn't flow as nicely. It's a very technical thing, but it doesn't flow as nicely. Charlie Blake Gota says, "Hey, I'm from Germany and just graduated and I'm now trying to get my first job as a 3D environment artist." Let's take a look. Okay. Get Blender, Unity. Yeah, we need more environments, Charlie. That will be my first advice. We definitely need more environments. And we need a little bit more complexity on the models, okay? Like, this is very important. Because, for instance, I see this telescope, and that just looks like a 6-sided cylinder with a couple of extrusions. Which, for certain kind of games, I understand, but then I can see that you do know how to do things a little bit more advanced, like this one right here. This one's great. I love this. Again, this is another one that could really benefit from hand-painted stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, this is really good, man. I like it. Again, I do think that you could benefit from a more hand-painted style approach, but it's not a bad one. That was pretty nice. Let's see. So painting over your piece like that when you have different poses, it would be a pain in the butt to try and match the paint on different poses. No, of course it would be a pain to do that, man. Like you don't do that. No, I was just doing that as an example. What you do is something like this. Here. You guys remember the Fogling from the other channel? Remember this little guy? I did a tutorial like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago for this one. And this is like the hand paint. I'm just doing like some practice here. And this is how you do it. So you do some very basic bakes on other softwares like Substance Painter. and then you just bring it here and start painting. That's it. That's how it works. And you paint in a 3D view. Okay, so you just paint directly. But this is, as I was mentioning, this is a more sort of like let's call it hands-on approach, because you definitely need to go and do it. Like it's way more artistic. It's a good process. A world without. Oh, I like that. Oh, this is very nice, dude. Charlie, change the thumbnail, man. This is a big one for you, man. Like the thumbnail here, this not great. I understand what you were doing here. It's a like little fun joke, right? Like the seahorse thinks that's another seahorse. But look at this beautiful shots right here. 9. Yeah, no, like if this was not portfolio review, Charlie, I would not have clicked on that one. That doesn't look enticing at all. But if you show me the corals, like this thing right here, like this shot right here, oof, that's a different story. And then you can add a little like a nod to the thing, but yeah, not bad. And this is too low poly. I understand that there's a thing, like my girl right now, she has like a kindergarten game on the iPad, and it looks like this. So there's room for this kind of stuff. I just don't know if ArtStation is the right way for it. No, I this one I don't like because it's too simple. So you have a couple of good pieces, man. One of the things that I would strongly encourage you to focus on, Charlie, is make sure you can create some modular assets. And I know the environment course is one of the things that I've been promising for a long time. Believe me, we're still in the process for that one. But making modular assets or kits is important because it shows that you can think modularly and not make everything a hero asset. Okay, so hope that helps. No, Casey. Yeah, I mean, there's a way to do that. Like, even 3D Code has a way where you paint on top of, like, the 2D image in Photoshop, and then it, like, transfers it to the UV map in 3D Code. So I've seen some people do something like that, but no, you paint on the 3D model. What do you think of similar stylized models as that boat done in a classic PBR world? Because I've seen a lot of professional work that wasn't hand painted. Yeah, it can be done with PBR stuff, like Fortnite thing. My thing is, just make sure that whenever you're doing this elements, you add enough variation in the value. Here, let me show you. Our eyes are very interesting machines, and one thing that they do is we of course see color, but we don't just see color. Okay, the most important thing that we see to really perceive the depth of the objects is value. This, okay? So when I first see this right here, you can see that all of the values are very similar. Look at that. That one's like a 50% gray, pretty much. And that's like the highest point on the value. And then the darkest point, yeah, we get to like blacks or almost black. We do have a couple of highlights there, but even the highlights on the metal, you can see that, or on the very border there, they're not getting all the way to 1. So that's the change in value that we need to work a little bit with. Because otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult to appreciate what's going on here. So we can, of course, for instance, add a little bit more value here on some of the areas. Okay, and then on the highlights, we can push it a little bit more. Okay, to really see what's going on and to have something that looks a little bit more interesting. That's the secret to a lot of digital painting. A lot of concept artists will do this all the time, where they'll work on black and white elements. And then they'll add the color afterwards. Okay, so let me like desaturate this one as well so you guys can see. So yeah, you can see there, right? Like, just adding those things makes them pop a little bit more. It's something simple. It's not something that just like screams at your face, but it adds more complexity to the whole thing. If you can do this with PBR texturing, with metal edgewares, with gradients, with things like that, go for it. It's gonna work. It's gonna be a useful thing, and you don't need to do hand painted. But if not, then doing a little bit of hand painted might be a good option as well. Capcast the Giant, welcome, my friend. Welcome. Hello. Let's see here. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna check my phone real quick. One second, guy. Sorry. 1 second. There we go. Go to the next one. Jakub Baxter, Jacob from Poland, prop weapon artist. I work in Chronospace and the game War Mechanics Simulator. If you like Dieselpunk, check it out. Peace. Let's take a look. Nice. Yeah, we were talking about this. This is like, if you want to do realistic weapons, this is the level that you should have. Like if you want to do an AK-47, an MP4, a P90, all of this, this is the level that people are looking for. The only thing that I would do for this one, Jacob, is just add a full shot, because we got a lot of close-ups and wireframe, but we don't have a full shot of the weapon. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Yeah, that looks nice as well. Oof, very nice. Yeah, look at that, guys. Clean. Oof, super optimized. Awesome. Maybe a little bit more optimization on the barrel. Again, not the worst. Oh, this is amazing. I would just increase the value of the image a little bit more so that we can see more of the stuff. This is good. I like this. And this, again, is a little bit more unique, right? Like, I haven't seen a lot of this kind of weapons out there. So this is also helps you with sort of like standing out from other people. Paintish gasoline pump. Just get the crunch a little bit lower. I feel like it's a little bit too bumpy on the paint, especially. But other than that, yeah, man. I mean, you're already working, so to be honest, I would probably take this one out. I know that this is for the game. Well, it's for the game, so it's just the design. I don't like the design, but that's, again, personal taste. Execution or technical execution is fine. Careful with the metal edgeware. Just maybe like reduce it in a couple of areas a little bit more. But yeah, man, this is cool. Not much I can say about this. Maybe the other advice that I could give you, especially for a portfolio, try doing something a little bit more complex, like another type of weapon, or again, like a tank, a turret, something like that. But yeah, this is great, man. Really cool. Cool stuff. A weaponsmith. Yeah, he's definitely Jacob, the weaponsmith. Mert Can Myrak says, hi, I'm Mert. I'm about to finish the game art education at Poland. I want to be a weapon artist as well, and actually a few months ago I sent you my portfolio. You told me to create new projects from concepts and listen to your advice. Here's the updated version. Let's take a look. Nice. I actually don't specifically remember this one, so I'm not sure if you... Seems like you started new ones. Like maybe this one was already there. This one's really good. I love this one. Again, unique, right? Kind of looks like a zombie apocalypse shotgun, right? Handmade shotgun. There we go. Yeah. Love it. Good optimization. 11K tries. That's fine. Good textures. Yeah. Oh, wow. Where? Second. Wait just a second. I don't understand. I'm confused. Oh, okay. No, I see it now. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, so I was confused because I saw this concept right here, which is a double barrel shotgun and it has the springs and things like that. And then I saw this one's like, what is it? But it's this one right here. You're doing this one, the first one, I think. Right? I'm pretty sure it's the first one that you're doing. Now that I take a closer look. Yeah. Upper right corner of the concept art. Yeah, I'm thinking this. Yeah, this is great, man. This is great. I like it. Good stuff. Love the wood detail there. Amazing. Great job on that, like, damage effect. Yeah, this is nice, man. This is really, really nice. Congratulations on this one. Let's see the next one. Nice. A little sight here. Sci-fi sight. Good model. See, I really like looking at these models. Like, this is personal stuff. I really like looking at these things right here. But if they told me to do it, I would hate to do it. I don't like modeling this kind of stuff. Like, it's just... I don't enjoy it as much as the other stuff that I do, like characters and creatures. But yeah, this is very cool, man. Like, good stuff there on the low poly modeling. Good stuff on the texture. Oh, nice. That's the concept art. Please tell me... Oh, you know what you're missing, man? This thing. Just add that one. Like, if you just add that little stripe right there, like that's a ribbon cable, I think they're called. Just add it with the exact colors and everything, and oh, you're gonna be on the other side of things. The glass as well, you're missing the tint. I would definitely add the glass, like, could be like just like a cylinder or something. That could definitely make it pop a little bit more as well. But this is a great piece right there. Good job. Oof. Nice, nice. Look at the details, guys. Ah, chef's kiss. This is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. Look at the details here. Now, there's 3 important things that I want you to look at this like weapon right here. First of all, the scale of the detail. Super common mistake. People make the scale too big because they want to see the bump map from like really far away. We don't do that. Look at the scale. This is the proper scale of detail. These are the kind of scratches and details that we would expect to see. Look at this, man. This is attention to detail right there. Why? Because this switch is going to be switching from semi to safe or whatever, and it will scratch the surface in this cylindrical or rather circular way. That's what we're looking for. And finally, look at the metal edgeware. Metal edgeware on the areas what you would expect there to be more of it, not too much on the areas that we don't have too much of. That's the kind of stuff that we want. This right here is an excellent example on how you need to do your textures. Everyone, guys, and this is another thing. I'm not sure if you guys are using this, but all of the portfolios, all of the things that we've done for the past like year and a half are here. Go through them. Like, go and watch and study what other people are doing. So right now, Mert here, go and check what Mert is doing, so that you can use this in your portfolio. See how he's like attacking and doing all of these elements to create this very nice detail. Congratulations, Mert. Like, this is so good, man. This is top-notch stuff. Really good. Now, you mentioned you're in Poland. Look, Jacob here is from Poland as well. So, Mert, just send Jacob a message and it's like, hey, I'm also a weapon artist. Is there any spots available? And maybe you guys can start working together on the same studio or something. But yeah, great stuff, man. Great stuff, Mert. There you go. No, it's not that I don't like hard surface. It's just that I don't enjoy it as much. So if I had to do hard surface, I'll do hard surface. Like, it's a job at the end of the day, and I'll be happy to do so because it's 3D and everything. But if you give me the choice between hard surface and characters or creatures, I'll do sculpting all day. Sandeep says, hi Ave, this is my second time posting a portfolio review. Some months earlier, I was trying to get into big studios with specialized role 3D. After a lot of failed attempts, I switched my approach. Now I'm trying to get into small studios with more generalized roles. Please tell me if my portfolio is lacking something. Yeah, I think I remember a little bit of this. Hulkbuster. Oh, wow. This is quite nice. This is very nice. Oh, did you use a scale the lines, man? You use a scale tool to make sure everything is like lined up perfectly. I really like this one, man. I think you could do a better job on the texturing side of things. I'm not sure if you did texturing or if it's just materials, but the modeling itself is really nice. Like, this is like cinematic level stuff, like something that you would expect from a commercial or something like that. So I would do a different pose. I feel like this pose looks a little bit awkward for this particular one. And if you can texture it because it does look a little bit fake on the paint side of things. Like, the render looks fine. It's just the textures. I can see you did do textures. Yeah, it's maybe the color correction on the textures. Like, they might be a little bit too bright and saturated compared to what we see normally on other things. Sick Warrior. Nice. That cloth looks a little bit weird. I'm not sure what that is. I like you're going for this more of a narrative approach with things. Careful with the bumpiness on the head, on the legs. You don't need that much. Yeah, this is very cool, man. I mean, you're doing a lot of technical things right here. To be honest, if I was to give you a suggestion or something, well, careful here with the density on the elements. They look a little bit weird. But you seem to be having a little bit more of a commercial approach rather than like cinematic or games or movie approach, because you have a good understanding of this kind of stuff. Have you tried? Well, maybe that would be my advice. Like, I know you're trying to pivot to indie stuff. But yeah, this looks a little bit more like commercial work. Again, careful. It looks like, well, okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk here, and the risk I'm gonna take is I'm gonna sound like a douche if I'm wrong. Because I'm not sure now that you did the characters from scratch. No, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not a douche anymore. So human models are taken from the internet. Yeah. I'm not sure, man. This is a tricky one. Oh, was that supposed to be cricket? I've never watched cricket, so I'm not sure how it's played. I know it's very famous. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks a little bit... I wouldn't say fake, but the fact that you're using a lot of assets from the internet and not your own, it's difficult to evaluate your actual skills, right? Because now that I see that on this one right here, that it says that you took the models from the internet, now I'm questioning, did you do everything here? Like the models and everything? I think you did. This looks very nice. Wait. What? Hey, this is my truck. I own this truck. I have a Seltos. I'm not sure if it's the exact year. Kind of looks like it, but I own a Seltos. Yeah, this is a great truck, by the way. I really like it. Yeah, I mean, if you're modeling and texturing all of this, then that's great. But I'm not sure, man. Let me check your message again real quick. Okay, you want to be 3D hard surface modeler. Okay, then show me more 3D hard surface modeling things. Okay, that's very important. Like, for instance, this one right here. I'm not sure if you grab everything from the internet again. Because if you did the moon lander robber thingy right there, then it would be very cool to see how you did everything. Because here, it just looks like, yeah, you're using a lot of plugins and tools and skills to do some cool things. Again, like this animation that looks fine. But I'm not sure how much of it you're doing it yourself, okay? So I guess that would be my advice. Jatchern, what should I do for a review? We open reviews every month. So for December, we're going to be opening the reviews on the Discord channel. So you need to join the Discord channel. You need to be paying attention for when the reviews are open. And then you submit your portfolio along with a small message so that we can take a look at what's going on. Hi, my name is Alexander. Been studying 3D character creation for a year now. Trying to create an interesting portfolio. I would like to hear your opinion. Let's take a look. What should I focus? Oh man, you have a lot of major content. I'm not gonna be able to open that, unfortunately, because YouTube is going to destroy us if we do that. We definitely need to improve our anatomy. We definitely need to improve our texture work. I'm gonna open it this off screen just so that I can see. I need to sign in. Yeah, we definitely... I would probably recommend the anatomy course for you, my friend, or the substance course, because the kind of like the kind of detail you're doing, it's a little bit complicated to do, and we do have a rule, man. I'm not gonna again like give you too much too much crap for it, but we don't review this kind of stuff on the stream, okay? If you want a private review, we could like schedule a like a session or something, like a private mentorship, and we can go over your stuff. But unfortunately, due to how like socials work here, it's not possible for me to show that on screen. Fox, it's in the house. Look at that. There we go, guys. Fox is the responsible for a lot of like the big like concepts for the things that we've done in the past couple of years or so. Say hi to Fox here on Twitch. What's up, my friend? Happy to see you. Let's go now with Branson. We're doing portfolio review right now, so we're going over stuff. So we're evaluating what people have been doing. My friends showed me so many content. I was impressed by the kind of off-leak environment you have created. I'm super excited to get involved in this community. Well, welcome, Branson. 3D pro artist for 5-6 years with the bachelor's in animation and game design. We continue the chef. 5-6 years and you haven't been able to make it in. Branson, let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing, like right out of the gate that I see, Branson, again, complexity of the models, right? Like this bucket right here. It's just a bucket. It's just a bucket. And I know that you even say here that you took 5 hours to create it. It looks good, but it's just a bucket, man. Like anyone who has basic knowledge of the 3D workflow can create the bucket and can texture it and can set it in an environment like this one to make it look like it's there. I actually think you did this with like it's a Photoshop thing, right? Like GIMP. So it's not even like a 3D element. You just like get there. The perspective is a little bit off for the bucket. Same for the light information, it's a little bit off. Why? Because you can see that there's a very warm light hitting this like wooden things right here, and the light that was hitting the bucket is a more like neutral light. So we gotta be careful there, man. We gotta be careful. So that's not how we do it. Talos Rancher is saying tutoriales de cómo posar personajes. Yes, I mean, for premium courses on the anatomy course, we post Duncan at the end. You can see the post right there. So I show you, we model in T-pose and then we post it at the end. That's the more advanced information that I have about posing within this tutorial. But if you look on the YouTube channel for, I think I did like a, what was it called, Stager? I think it's called ZBrush Stager. We use that one as well to pose. And then transpose posing. It's a little bit of a little bit of everything. So yeah, my friend, I think the reason why you might be struggling to land a job is because most of the things that you're doing here are very simple. Very simple. Okay, it's just a sword, not complex at all. We can do this again in like 1 hour, 2 hours. Sling ring from Doctor Strange. It looks good. It's a good stuff, and you did, I think, like displacements or textures for it. So, but again, it's such a simple asset. We need to pick a project, Branson. We need to pick a project, Branson, that is challenging enough. Okay, something like this. This is a more ambitious project, but of course we need to work a little bit more on this because it's looking too simple. So pick a project that's, again, more ambitious, and that's gonna give you a stronger portfolio. Okay, because right now this portfolio is, in my opinion, and again, hopefully you don't take this the wrong way, very simple. Like, you're not, again, going back to the little speech that I gave earlier on the review, you're not showing me anything that you or that I couldn't find someone else to be able to do. You know what I mean? Like, when I see a portfolio, when people are looking at portfolios, they want to find someone who can do things that no one else can, or in a way that no one else can, or with a specific take that no one else has, like that unique sort of like approach. Because otherwise, you're probably just gonna like be finding jobs that are very simple, where they're just gonna be asking you to do very simple props and not some of like the cool stuff that a lot of people are trying to get into. Okay, so my advice there would be that for you, Branson. Patricio. Se fuerte, Patricio. Hola, Abe. My name is Patricio. I'm a fellow Mexican from Monterrey. I'm currently a senior game development student at SCAD, graduating this upcoming August. I'm working hard to create a strong portfolio to increase my chances of landing a job in the industry. At the moment, my portfolio feels a bit too general. I have some more work being created for Deloitte. So some work. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see. Okay. I see some cool stuff here. First advice, if you're not going to be doing BFX, don't include BFX. Okay? That's important. You can have it on your curriculum, but yeah, like I don't think some of the BFX look cool. Like I like the first like sprite that you were having, but then it's not looking as good. So just take it out. You don't need it. Raccoon Heist game. Nice. So this is a little bit more programming. Someone else recommended this. Like, if you have this prototype ready for people to try, you definitely want to publish it somewhere that people can download it and just give it a go. Just so that, again, they get a better idea of how it works. Let's create one material for a fruit of our choice. Yeah, this is good, man. Nice. Is this like a procedural material, or is this... Yeah, no, this is good. I like this one. Okay. Even though it's simple, it's got some technical stuff and it shows your process, so that's good. I will probably just optimize the little blueberry a little bit more. Cat Monument, a little environment here for Unreal. Yeah, here's another advice, and this is for everyone, guys. Listen closely. SCAD is it should be debe estar en Monterrey at Fox. No estoy seguro. It's not Cedim. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's in Monterrey. He mentioned it's in Monterrey. Let's look for it. SCAD Monterrey. This is Scuff. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I actually haven't heard of this one. University for Creative Careers. I don't know. We'll have to do a little bit more research about that one. Yeah, so Patricio, one thing that I always mention is don't add, and this is again for everyone, don't add exercises or practices to your portfolio. That's what Instagram is for. That's what Facebook is for. That's where some of the other socials are for, like, I don't know, X or Blue Sky now, right? In your portfolio, you want to have the best of the best. Sometimes you're going to have a couple of exercises like this blueberry one. There's like, hey, that's actually quite nice. It looks very nice as a thumbnail. It works, so fine. But not every single exercise that you do should be part of this. Let me get the music back, guys. Give me 1 second here. Whoop. Over here. Oh my god, we have over 100 viewers right now. What's up, everyone? You guys are very quiet. I thought we had way less than that. There we go. Yeah, this machine looks very nice. Love your reference. Yeah, this is good. We might need to work a little bit on the optimization. The packing is fine. Materials. You're doing substance designer for materials. That's very interesting. You're creating all of your materials from scratch. This is very cool, man. Like, I don't do substance designer. That's very cool that you are able to do it. Yeah, that looks good, man. I love this one. This one's very good. It's fun. Nice. Oh, and you designed it yourself? That's even nicer, man. Yeah, we can definitely improve a little bit of the... what's the word? The UVs can definitely be improved a little bit. It's a little bit wasting some space. And the sculpting a little bit as well. How much stream is left until we finish the portfolio reviews, man? We're gonna go until we finish, so probably a couple more hours. Yeah, really like this one, man. Really like this one. Talo says that I'm in a podcast mode, so you're just listening to me. That's fine, man. Thank you. A little bit too colorful, I would say. I don't love it, to be honest. The block looks fine, but the buildings are way too simple. That statue looks cool. I don't know. It's like, I think you're matching too many styles, because you get like the low poly thing, and then you have like the very high poly thing. So I'm not sure if it works as nice. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't picture a game that looks like this. I think it's a little bit too saturated. But good stuff, man. Like, it shows here that you have some really nice like abilities, like technical abilities. My best advice: be very mindful about the projects that you're going to be picking in the next couple of months for your final portfolio, because those are going to be the ones. And take out some of the ones that don't really work. Like the cat, I will probably take it out. This BFX thing, and maybe even the Unity game, I will just probably take them out. Gustavo, my name is Gustavo. I'm from Brazil, and we'd be honored to have some feedback from you. My focus is on characters and creature, realistic, semi-realistic. Let's take a look. Okay, so we got Rice here. Okay. We definitely need to work a little bit more on the forms and some of the anatomy. Okay, this is a very common mistake. I'm gonna strip a little bit so you can see this. When we raise a shoulder, right? Look at this. This is my arm right now, and this is where my shoulder is, right? When I raise my shoulder 30 degrees, all the work is being done by the internal muscles of the arm. Like, or not 30 degrees, like 15 degrees. From 15 degrees all the way to 90 degrees of the arm being raised, it's the deltoid doing the job. And you can do it yourself right now, guys. Like, if you do this exercise right now and you just like move your arm up, you're gonna feel all of the like strength being applied to your deltoid. But once we raise the arm above 90 degrees, the muscles from the back, okay, the scapulary muscles, or the muscles in the scapula, they're going to be engaged because they need to help do this whole movement. So a very common mistake in poses, this is something that I see in poses quite a bit, is you guys forget to add that volume to the arm. Okay, this is a very, very common thing that happens with animators as well. So this thing needs to really be pushed up. In the whole, like, yeah, teres major, teres minor, and infraspinatus, all of those muscles are engaged because the scapula slides sideways, okay? Remember that the scapulas are like triangles, or like this on your body, oh, sort of like this. And what happens is they sort of like rotate up when we move the arm way higher than 90 degrees. So it's very important that you understand that deformation so that the character looks more realistic. Okay, you can see that again on the on the Duncan sculpt, because he's got the arm like raised a little bit, so all of this area sort of like pushes up as well. Because otherwise it looks like very weird trying to keep this thing low and then push the arm up. It just looks like unnatural. So careful there, Gustavo, on the pose. And yeah, a little bit more definition on some of the elements. Some of the textures, especially this one. Like, we live now, guys, in a day and age with technology that whenever you're doing cloth, especially this kind of like skirts that are just flowing, you can do cloth with Maya, you can do cloth with Blender, you can do cloth with Marble Designer, you can do cloth with a lot of things. So there's absolutely no reason to have this like very wonky looking like sculpted cloth, okay? You can sculpt the wrinkles, but you always want to like simulate them. Even in ZBrush, you can simulate so that this thing falls more realistically, okay? In Discord, how do I enter the live chat session? What live chat session, man? Bob? I'm not sure I'm not sure I understand. We don't have any like live classes on the Discord. If you mean like this, we're live right now. If you mean for the submission, like if you want to submit, every month we open the submissions, and when we open the submissions, you can submit. Right now the submissions are closed. So that's the advice for that one. Then we have Naga Siren Doda. Good detail on the face. I like it. I feel like the shadow on the eyebrows is a little bit too intense. Okay, good anatomy in general. Very realistic, I would say. I really like the coloring on the like the tattoos or the skin. I'm not sure what that is. Kind of looks like a body paint, but looks very nice. Gold again. I have a personal pet peeve with gold where I find people make it a little bit too yellowish most of the time. So I'll probably like tone it down a little bit more. Now, with this one, you have an interesting thing because you have a very realistic character on the top, and then due to the colors, the shapes, and the proportions of everything else, it looks very, what's the word? It looks very animated or stylized, right? So it's like a mix of both elements, and I'm not sure it works perfectly fine. Okay, this is nice. Yeah, nice UVs, nice haircuts. Yeah, nice haircuts there. Yeah. Oh, that's a great concept. Oh, by the way, guys, you guys want to find some cool concepts? Fox, are you still there? Fox has some pretty dope stuff that you can use for reference, guys. Oh, you haven't uploaded the angel? He just did an angel a couple of days ago, right? It was an angel, I think. That one was pretty cool. But like this one right here, that's a cool little character there. Good exercise in texturing if you want to do it. Then there's this, you know which one is this one, man? Like this is so good. Like this like Aztec warrior, kind of like sci-fi-ish Aztec warrior. Pretty cool. I've always wanted to do this one. Reminds me a lot of like Xenoblade Chronicles. It's got this sort of like fantasy sci-fi thing. I'll probably do it one day at Fox. Like this one, I really like. Or I'm gonna get a print and I'm gonna make you sign it once I once I see you again. Fox lives very close to me. Well, like an hour away. So there we go. Yeah, so that's it, Gustavo. Good stuff. More stuff. We need more of that. I can see that you have the technical skills to do it. So definitely, like keep working on that. Lucas Renald. I'm aiming to break into the gaming or 3D animation industry as a 3D character artist. I have nearly a year of experience in an indie studio doing low poly modeling, and I would like to improve my portfolio. Let's take a look. Hey, this is nice, man. See, someone else was doing low poly stuff a couple of like portfolios ago. If you're doing low poly stuff, try to follow this technique where there's a little bit more ambient occlusion, a little bit more like gradients, something that's, you know, a little bit more oomph to the whole thing. There's a little bit more juice to the thing. Because otherwise it becomes a little bit difficult to really appreciate. This is good, man. This is good. Like, I really like your stuff. Oh, this is awesome. Is this hand painted? No, this is PBR. That's pretty cool. Like a pretty cool hatchet there. Nice. Nice. Yeah, this style is a little bit more common nowadays. This is pretty cool as well. Yeah, proportions are nice. You're using Maya or Blender? Blender, okay. 150k, that's about right for a character like this. Nice pose. A little bit too much texture space. Again, it depends on the project. You might not get as much texture space, but that's good, man. Yeah, I saw this one. I go through the portfolios. Sometimes not all of them, but I do go through the portfolios, and I remember seeing this one. This is very cool, man. I love this one. So good because it's like a dorky knight, right? Yeah, this is really good, man. Yeah, that's the polycount there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, no, this is good, man. Even the haircuts look quite nice. The skin looks very nice. Let me read your message again, because you mentioned that you're working in the studio. Would like to improve your portfolio. Okay, so for your portfolio, the only thing I might do is just take out some of the stuff. Like some of the old stuff, like this drawings right here. Like you got some nice ideas. But again, unless you're going to be pursuing that kind of stuff, you might just want to take a couple of them out. Like this one, like Pajarito, I'm not sure it's like the best one. This Mazda 56, again, not sure it's the best one. Some of these characters, baby. So just clean up the portfolio a little bit more and do more of this stuff, man. Like this is top-notch stuff. Like that one right there, again, I really, really like. Yeah, good gun over here as well. Yeah, not much I can say, you man. Just keep going. Keep adding more stuff with your portfolio, and this is looking quite nice. I love this one. This is so good, man. See, not everything has to be realistic and like super intense. Like you can have like very, very funny things like this. Like I can imagine a game where this guy's just like following you around and just like doing like stupid stuff. Like this is awesome, man. So cool. And the technical execution is fine as well. There's a little bit of space there that we could optimize on the UVs, but yeah, this is great. Here's another advice I can give to you, Lucas, because I think you're already on the spot where your execution is really good. Try to find people who are doing things like animation and rendering, or animation and rigging, sorry, and do collaborations. That's another thing. I don't think I've mentioned this in the last couple of portfolio reviews, but another way in which you can really have more exposure in this like artistic world is by doing collaborations. Like if you find a rigger and then you animate this guy doing like, or if you find a rigger and then you find an animator and you guys do like a 30-second short for TikTok or Instagram and you just upload it, that thing could go viral. And if it goes viral, at the end there's going to be a credit with modeling done by Lucas Renald, rigging done by whatever, animation done by someone else, and you might get some like more exposure that way. Like people will find out who you are, and that might open up more opportunities. That's how you generate this sort of like alliances to really be able to, again, to build up a little bit of a personal brand. Okay, so yeah, that would be my advice right there. Let's see, is his name Spike? It definitely needs to be Spike, Casey. It definitely needs to be Spike. Let's go with Dominant Moose, Nicholas. I'm about to graduate from my program with the goal to be a 3D generalist, primarily focusing on environment and prop work at the moment. Let's take a look. Okay. Again, whenever you do your portfolio, guys, think about which things are worth it and which things are not worth it. This one right here, I don't think it's worth it. It's not looking great, right? Why is it not looking great? Well, the illumination looks very, again, like fake-ish, very CGI-ish, and all of the models, pretty much all of the models that I see right now are boxes, okay? They're just boxes. So we don't want to do this kind of stuff because it's too simple. It's too simple, and it really, again, doesn't add anything to the conversation, right? This one's a little bit better. The color's a little bit dark, so it's difficult to see the sculpt. Low poly, high poly, big detail. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I like this one. Another advice, like this is rock right here. I don't think it looks as nice, to be honest. And you can now go to, it's now called Fav, right, from Unreal, in what's called Quixel. But if you go here to Discover, or sorry, where is it? Discover. There was a way to do this. Well, if you just look for rock, there has to be Quixel. There we go. So if you go here and you go into the Quixel stuff, you will find this kind of things. And these rocks are photogrammetry rocks, right? Like they're scan things that people use for production. And you can just download. And you can download not only the rock, like download the freaking whole environment, like the trees and the stones and the plants and everything. And build a little scene so that your blue spotted lizard or salamander can look as nice as it can, okay? That's a nice bike. Again, relatively simple asset, but it's a good one. Textures definitely could get a little bit more love. They look a little bit, again, too generic. But modeling is fine. Again, it's a little bit on the cinematic or high poly qualities. I like this one. This one looks pretty crazy. Yeah, that one looks fun. Yeah, there's all the breakdowns. Definitely too heavy on the... Like, this is not optimized for games. You definitely need to do retopology on this, because that's not optimized. Then this coffee machine. Yeah, Nicolas, we gotta be a little bit smarter about the kinds of projects that we pick, because even though this is a nice coffee machine, we need to see some wireframes as well. And it's not as exciting, right? Like, unless you're gonna be working at a place where you're gonna be doing a lot of, like, props, you gotta do things that are a little bit cooler. Another thing you can do, guys, and this is another, like, pro tip, go to the what's the word? Go to the top schools, like the top 3 schools. Nomon, Think Tank, BFS. I'm sure there's more in Europe that I don't know about. And look at the portfolios of the students that are graduating there. That's your competition. That's the quality bar that you need to go for, or that you need to try to achieve. That's the projects that you need to mimic or use as inspiration to really get to that point, okay? It's very, very important that you try to follow that kind of process, because otherwise it's just not, like, it's going to be difficult for you to break into the industry, okay? Because again, that's the quality bar that people are, like, aiming for. Mikasa Ash says, hello Abe, I'm a 3D artist from India. I want to become a character artist. I'm working on my sculpting skills. Please guide. What should I add to my portfolio to make it more visible? Oh, this is very good, man. I like this one. Like the forms, very nice. Very nice. I'm not sure what people do this. I've actually I've fought with David quite a bit, because he used to do this as well, where people are modeling the hands pointing backwards. That's not how it's done. It's usually done with hands facing to the side of the character, okay? To the side of the character, not back. This right here, when the hand is facing forward or facing up, that's called supination. It's a pose, or it's a specific position of the hand. Supination. It's the easiest one to understand the anatomy or to study the anatomy, because everything is pretty, like, clear on where it's going. This right here, when the hand is facing down, it's called pronation. It's rotated, and it's called the pronation position. And all of the muscles, you can see them right here, all of the muscles switch place. Oh, you guys want to see something cool? This is complete parenthesis, but it's fun. When I was a little kid, I fell from a very stupid place. I fell from a ball. I'll explain that story later. But the point is that my left shoulder is, like, completely messed up. So look at this. Let me see if it shows. So yeah, can you see the curvature there? Like, this is a normal arm. You see how this thing freaking goes up like that? Ridiculous. That's why I cannot use my left arm as what's the word? I cannot use my left arm as reference, because it's, like, messed up. I have full range of motion and everything. It's just, like, very weird that it just, like, has that, like, bump. And that's because when I fell and I broke my arm, they didn't place a cast on me. They just gave me, like, a sling for my arm. And I was a little kid. I was, like, 4 or 5 years old or something. So it just, like, it just, like, welded or bonded, like, weirdly or whatever. Let's go. That's a little fun little trivia fact. Like, what's the, like, messed up arm that Abe has? That's the left arm right there. GM Dumal, yeah, man, it's a freaky thing. How many years have I been doing 3D, particularly sculpting? 13 years now. 13 years. I started in 2011. Roughly in June of 2011 is when I started my 3D journey. So yeah, a little bit more than 13 years. There we go. We're mirrored images, Fox. Yeah, so you got some cool stuff here, my friend Ashwini. Some of the props are really good. Like, I really like this one. Even your anatomy is not that far off Like, again, the best advice I could give you is maybe check the anatomy course. It could be my anatomy course, someone else's anatomy course. Just like polish your anatomy proportions a little bit more, because there's some muscle groups and some elements that could get a little bit more definition here, especially on the face. And that's going to definitely increase. Oh, this is awesome, man. This is good, dude. Like, this one, finish it, man. Do retopology, do textures, and this could be an amazing one. Again, it's like a Last of Us fan art, but it's like very unique. I've never seen anything like this, so that one's pretty damn cool. This one's nice. This is from Warhammer, right? I think I've seen them before. Good stuff, man. No, I'm not a teacher at Noman, Solid Mango. You might be getting that wrong. The universities that I teach are here in Mexico. It's called Universidad Carolina. It's a specific university here in my hometown. And I'm a mentor at Think Tank. But yeah, when I go to the university and people come to me after class, they'll be asking questions. That's very common. Mind if I ask you if you sucked the first year or first row years where you're rocking? Let me show you, man. Let me see. Give me 1 second and I'll show you. You guys want to see? I'm gonna show you the first thing I ever did in 3D, and then I'm gonna show you one of the first characters that I did in 3D. Okay. So the first thing I ever did in 3D was this thing right here. Let me snip it. I'm opening my Facebook, and I trust you guys, but I don't want to get like DDox or whatever. There we go. So this was the first model I ever did, and I got the date right here. May 19, 2011. That's when I first like started my, let's say, 3D journey at that point. May 19, 2011. And it was Cinema 4D back then. Like, that was the first like thing that I did. It was Cinema 4D. And I just did this like water thing and did a quick render or something. Then I went into a program here in Mexico. It was like a 3-month program where I started learning more about things and stuff. And I did a character. Like my first, I'm going to say this is one of my first original characters that I did with ZBrush and stuff, where I felt like I was doing something cool. I have a couple of more exercises that I did before this one, but this one was like the first one that was like, hey, I like it. I like the idea. I like the presentation. I like the render. I feel like I'm improving. This one was, oh, yeah, did I just close this? No. Let me tell you the date. September 18, 2011. So this one was, again, like one of my first creations. And curiously enough, I've been using this one as a sort of benchmark for my own like artistic growth. So every couple of years when I get the chance, when I'm doing a new course or I'm doing something, I'll try to do this one again, but with more things that I learned. And you can see some of them in my portfolio. So the first time I redid that one was this one. And this was 10 years ago. So if that was 2011, this was like 2014 or something like that. And at this point, I already knew about normal maps. I already knew about texturing. I already knew a little bit about topology and posing. And hopefully you can see the improvement, right? So this was, let's say, 2 or 3 years of difference from this one right here to this one right here. And then a couple of years later, for another class, I did this one. And it's the exact same one. Like, it's the same creature, right? It's the same idea of the creature. It's called the Akrok. That's my own creation. And in this one, I pretty much like dress him as a Jedi. But it's the same creature that I've been, again, doing for a couple of years now. So, and I think I did a post of this like not too long ago, where you can see the artistic growth, let's say. And this one was done like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, or 4 years ago. So probably next year I'm going to do it again, like do a new variation of this character and just, again, keep adding more and more stuff about the things that I've been learning. And this is one of the things that I always tell you guys. It's about time and practice. I'm going to be uploading a video or a short tomorrow that talks about this motivation and goals and things like that. And one of the things that I mentioned is that, like, you guys need to be patient and you need to make sure that every day you do something that is getting you closer to your goal. If you do that, eventually you will get there. The more things you're able to do, the more things that life allows you to do, well, the better it's going to be, right? But at the end of the day, it's just that. It's just the constant progress and the constant improvement that allows you to keep growing. And that's our motto. It's not a what's the word? It's not a like a coincidence that I've been following this model for the past 10 years. Every single day, I'm learning something new. I'm improving on something that I already know. I'm trying to be a better person, be a better artist, be a better, human, a better dad, a better everything. Because remember, this is a more sort of like a holistic approach. You don't just focus on the artistic side of things. The artistic side of things are very important. That's your professional thing. But you can learn and become a much better artist if you also take care of all of the other areas in your life, your family, your friends, your loved ones, your health, your mental health, like all of these things, if you take care of those as well, if you grow and improve on those as well continuously, that will also help you be a better artist in the professional side of things. So I know this is not related to portfolio review. It's a little bit more of a life advice if you wish. And I know I might not be the most, again, like experienced person there. I'm only 32 years old, but those are the things that have worked for me, and maybe they'll work for some of you. You might not resonate specifically with what I'm saying, but if it helps you, just keep that in mind. Keep in mind that every single thing you do should be something that gets you closer to your goal. If you're doing things and you realize, hey, this is not getting me there, it's like the wrong path, just pivot. Make a good decision, move to the other side, and try a different strategy. That's, again, what the short's going to be about tomorrow. But it's important that you understand this, okay? No, you did not miss the stream. It's what's the word? It was just like a little like thing that I wanted to mention, Abdullah. We're almost to the end. We got like 10 more portfolios left. Let's see. I know a skilled artist, but with bad behavior. Yeah, and there's a very famous quote out there that says that perseverance or what's the word? Not perseverance. Hard work beats talent, right? If you have talent and you're a hard worker, you're gonna like get really, really far ahead. But if you feel like you don't have talent, but you do have a really good work ethic, you will be able to achieve a lot of very, very cool things. So yeah, mindset and your behavior, really, really important. Matt Mercury says, I started 2 years ago through your tutorials on Thyros. There you go. Love the concept of the characters. I started creating, painting, and painting them. That's the love. Collectibles. You're gonna go with collectibles. Matt, there you go. Is that you, Matt? Matt 3D Art? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Is this your portfolio? Awesome. Yeah, this looks cool, man. This looks very good. Lazarus. Nice. Let me take a quick look and then we'll do. Oh, this is so freaky, man. Like a centipede, right? Oh, man. Nice. I love this one. Gladiator. Another gladiator. Cool. And you are doing substance painter, so that's great, man. Oh, this is awesome. Praetorian Omega. Mecha model. Nice. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one little feedback with this one, and I'm not sure if you were following a specific concept in particular, but one thing that you need to understand, and this is something that I learned from Vitaly Vulgarov, is that when we're doing specifically this kind of stuff like mech design, you gotta play a little bit with what he calls the rest areas. And this is not a concept that he invented, but if we add detail everywhere, it becomes a little bit difficult to understand what's going on. So it's a good idea to not have detail everywhere. Okay, does that make sense? So we can definitely simplify a little bit of these details. You don't need to delete everything, but also you don't need to have all of this like detail everywhere. And by having a couple of more clean surfaces, it's going to be a lot easier to appreciate what's going on the areas that do have the detail. Okay, so for instance here, what I'm doing, as you can see, is I'm just like literally erasing some of the details by using the exact same color of the surface near it. And it just makes it a little bit more easy to understand what's going on, because if I see this area right here, it's just noise. It's a little bit of that thing, right? And if we take a look at this, it's looking just a tad bit better. So it's, oh, there you go. Yeah, the 70-30. Yeah, it could be 70-30. It could be like rule of thirds. Like there's a bunch of like strategies that you can use. Just be mindful. Like just be mindful of where we're going to be adding this kind of detail, and let's not overdo it, because it becomes very, very difficult to appreciate what's going on. So, and this works for everything, guys. Like, I've seen people do this with leather things, with metal things, with skin, when they add a lot of detail to skin. So it's a matter of just being a little bit more mindful of where we add the detail so that it's easier for us to digest what's going on, okay? Yeah, someone else on YouTube is giving another great tip. BB says to also think about function and how this is gonna move and rotate and things like that. Like all of these inside pieces right here, absolutely no need to have any detail right here. They could just be plates and that's it, so that we get cleaner stuff on other parts. But yeah, this is very cool. Like if you 3D print this and you use like a wash to fill in all of the crevices, it's gonna look super amazing. Yeah, man. I mean, this looks very, very nice. The only thing that I would recommend for a portfolio, if you want to focus on games as well, because right now I can see that you're focusing a little bit more like on collectibles, is show some wireframes, show some optimization of the characters. But even this one, like I would love to have this one as a collectible, like back here. This looks very, very good. And you're selling this? The model is for 3D printing. If you're not selling this, you should be selling these things like right away, man. Because this one is really, really good. And there's a lot of people who are into collectibles and getting this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is very, very nice. Again, check some of the, another advice, check some of the cloth tools that we have inside of ZBrush, because some of the cloth is definitely looking a little bit too bulky, and you might want to make it look a little bit more flowy. So some of the dynamic stuff might be nice. It's on the STL one called Awesome. I'll look for it, man. This one looks really good. I really like this one. Very, very nice. Now, one question. Are you doing the texturing in T-pose, or are you doing the texturing with the objects posed? Just to... Because you might want to, again, from a game perspective, you might want to keep your objects in... Okay, posed. Yeah, you might want to keep a version where it's not posed, because right now, all of these are more for collectibles. So I really applaud the fact that you're doing the whole texturing, but if you wanted to rig this for a game, for instance, it would be very, very difficult to do so. So it might be easier if you can do this thing in a more, again, like traditional T-pose or V-pose. Exactly, that's exactly. You need to give the eyes of the spectator a little bit of time to rest, otherwise it becomes a little bit difficult. The last piece of Lazarus is painted on Photoshop or what? Oh, that's fine. Cool, man. Yeah, no, this is very, very, very nice, man. I really like it. One more advice that I could give you, Matt, and this is because, again, I'm into like the collectibles, and I know they sell very nicely. Try a female character. Female characters, there's a lot of like male users who really like female characters, so you can get some nice points over there. And it could be like, it doesn't have to be like a sexy female character. It could be like a female, like a gladiator or like a female paladin. I'm not sure if this is a male character. Kind of looks like male, right? So try doing a female character. That could potentially be a very cool option as well. No, it's not Gypsy Dangerous. Praetorian Omega, it seems to be like another type of like concept or some inspiration from the Jaegers, but definitely looks like it. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, Matt. You are welcome. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. Split. Pedro Carvalho says, "Hi Ave, I've been studying and trying to improve in 3D for 3 years. I'm currently trying to improve my portfolio to get a job in the games industry as a 3D character artist. Let me take a look." Nice, nice. Okay, I see some cool stuff and some a little bit old stuff. So, for instance, this guy right here, Paladin, it immediately feels a little bit out of place because the proportions and things on the face don't look as good. Same for this one right here, Midas. Oh, that is a nice concept of Midas. But yeah, I don't love the face. So, to be honest, I'll probably take Midas and this guy out, as well as the zombie. Everything else is fine. Like, I really like this Dark Knight right here. The face looks nice. The wolf looks very nice. Texturing can be improved a little bit. Like, if I could give you a little bit of an advice or a course that you could get is the Substance course, probably. Because you do have a good grasp of anatomy and of, like, poses and presentation. That's pretty cool. But it's just the materials. They do feel a little bit bland in certain areas. That's a fun one. I'm not a super huge fan of the boots, but everything else looks very, very tight. This Vadman, of course, very cool. Yeah, not bad. Topology is fine. Okay, I can see. If I see this reference, the first thing I notice is that, again, the body looks a little bit more chiseled. So you definitely need to push some of the forms of the body a little bit more. Remember, guys, I've mentioned this before. Where is it? Here. This is one of my favorite authors to learn about anatomy and forms and proportions. It's George Bridgman. Okay, George Bridgman. This book is called Drawing from Life. And yes, the information in here is nice, but it's more about like the drawings and the silhouettes, like understanding how he manages all of these things. Let me go full screen here so you guys can see. There we go. So see those bodies right there? It's more about like the force and the strength of the muscles. Like how, for instance, here on the arm, it's not just like one cylinder that goes all across the element. It's like all of the planes and all of the different intricate details that we want to go for. So I really like this book, George Bridgman, Drawing from Life. He has a couple more books that you can check out, of course. So again, I'm just gonna write it here. He's a huge, remember we were talking about like style and things like that. He's a huge inspiration for me. So a lot of the styles and the things that I do, they are like built upon the foundations that I learned from studying Bridgman. Great reference right there. So yeah, my advice, Pedro, is focus a little bit more on that, on polishing the anatomy, especially the face anatomy. I feel like the faces can definitely have a little bit more strength. I really like this Gengar. This looks very fun, man. Yeah, if the Pokemon Company did this for their games, it would be a whole different story. The Cape Gibson Giant. Yeah, this one's fun as well. Hey, thanks for the follow, Detana. Then you have this, again, like face studies. Oh, okay. So this is interesting because when again, thumbnail choice, guys. Very important. Thumbnail choice. Oh, yeah, sorry, guys. Whoop. There we go. Thank you, Rixu. So this is very interesting. I was mentioning that the Gengar looks very nice, and this guy looks interesting as well. Forms, again, could be a little bit stronger. Now, here, thumbnail choice, guys, very important. Like this girl right here, I thought it was a portrait, and then I see, hey, it's the full body, and you did a good job on the full body. Like, all of the cloth looks very nice, the textures look very nice, the hair looks very nice. So, you might want to pick a different thumbnail, like something like this. Like this right here could be a better thumbnail. Now, I'm going to give you guys here an exercise. This is what you do. So, you grab your portfolio. Okay? You paste it somewhere. And then you grab another one of the images, like this one. You paste it one here. See how much that changes things? Like your portfolio immediately looks different by having a full character there. So now it doesn't look like you're doing portraits, it looks like you're doing characters, because I can see the full body, and it makes me curious to click on that image and actually see the whole thing. So it's very important that we do this kind of thing, okay? So how you plan your portfolio is also important. It's an important skill, because this is the thing that people are going to be seeing more often. Noah Game Art, what's up, man? Thanks for the sub. Thank you very much for the sub, man, and welcome to the stream. So yeah, be mindful about that, because you have a lot of like very cool like full characters. Just like show them. Otherwise, people might just see this and like, oh, cool portrait, and they just move away. So you gotta be very mindful about how you present your portfolio in this case. Nice. Let's go to the next one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. There we go. Yeah, we went a little bit faster this time around. Internet Harry. Let's take a look. Wait, is that one? Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm Salam, and I have been learning Blender for the past 2 years on my own. This year I started specializing on making game models. I've made good progress this year, but I feel like most of my projects have been lacking, but I can't quite put my finger on what's lacking. Well, let's take a look. Okay, so we got more guns here. People really like guns. The model is fine. The texture is good as well. Maybe a little bit more detail on the texture could work. You know, a little bit more subtlety, but yeah, that's some nice renders right there. I don't like the environment on this one. It's too saturated. I don't think it's helping your weapon too much. The weapon, again, not a bad thing. One thing that you definitely want to show, Harry, on this renders is the wireframe. Because we got to know whether... oh, there we go. We have it. We got to know whether it's a game model or if it's a production model. Yeah, that looks good. Now, once you have this environment or the wireframe thing going on, you also need to make sure to... what's the word, to add how many triangles it has, because that's another important information. Like, I'm not gonna, oh, there we go. It is right here. It's my fault now that I'm not looking at all of the information. 31,000. It's a little bit on the heavy side, but I can understand why. We might be able to simplify a couple of other points. But yeah, that's good, man. It's good. It's good. Yeah, you have a really good attention to detail as well. Look at that rust element right there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Nice. Okay, so I think, again, from my educated guess, that you have all of the technical skills to model pretty much any weapon. The thing here is, Harry, that similar to what someone else said on the comments a couple of moments ago, I've seen a lot of these weapons already in a lot of games, right? So you need to start picking up other types of weapons, or other types of concepts, so that you show that not only can you do amazing weapons, but you can translate those skills to other elements as well. Robots, like tanks or vehicles, sci-fi weapons, like things like that. That's going to make you more useful, because right now, based only on the portfolio, the only kind of jobs that I would like offer you or look for is or are games that are war related, right? Like Call of Duty, Battlefront, like things like that. I'm not saying that you couldn't do well in like a Halo, or you couldn't do well in like a medieval game, but if you don't show that you have that range of style, let's say, it can be a little bit tricky to get that opportunity, okay? Because again, most of these things are just realistic weapons. You have all of the technical skills that you need, man. So I wouldn't like there's no specific thing about your skills that I would recommend you to improve on. It's more about the range, like present more stuff other than just this weapons. Why? Because that will open up more opportunities for you. Otherwise, you're sort of like holding. Is that how do you say it? You're just like getting a very, very small niche of the kind of things that you want to do. And if there are no jobs there right now, then it's going to be a little bit more tricky. Yeah, my advice, that's a great question, Abdullah, about specialization. Nowadays, I'm seeing more and more a generalist approach to things. Like when I graduated, this was back in 2016, specialization was a big thing. And our teachers, one of our teachers actually, they were like that. They told us that. It's like, hey, the industry goes through this like ups and downs about specialization or generalization, and you gotta be mindful about that. So when I was studying, specialization was the thing. So you wanted to be very specialized in one thing. Nowadays, since again big studios are sort of like closing up and jobs are getting more like indie or smaller scale stuff, you might want to be focusing a little bit more on generalization so that you can cover more stuff and you get a more secure position in wherever it is you're working. But later on, again, specialization might be another big thing again. So at the end of the day, things are very, very variable. Okay. So yeah, there you go, Harry. Welcome to the stream as well. And yeah, thanks for your portfolio. This is, again, it's very good. It's very, very good. Just think about what kind of projects could you do that show where all of the skills that you have could be applied for different kinds of things and not just weapons. Okay. Or not just this kind of weapons. You could do other types of weapons as well. Julian Suarez says, hello, Ave. I'm a character artist who has been looking to get into the game film industry throughout the year, but I can't get anything solid. Let's take a look at your portfolio. Nice. Yeah, so this was this is a tutorial from Nextune. Yeah. That's a great concept. It's another tutorial. Okay. It's another tutorial. Secure. Okay. So here's what I see on your portfolio, Julio. Is it Julio or Julio? Julian? Julio. Never heard that name before. Interesting. Okay, so what I see on your portfolio, man, is that you have, from the 6 pieces that you have, 3 of them are from tutorials. There's a little bit of a stigma with portfolio pieces being from tutorials, because it means that you didn't do it yourself. You just copied someone that was teaching you the steps, okay? So, for instance, this tiger, and I know where this tiger is from because I was there when it was made. So, this tiger right here, instead of doing the tiger, this is my advice for everyone. Instead of doing this tiger, just look for another animal, like a lion or like a panther, right? So, if you look for a panther, you might be able to find something that looks interesting, like this one, like spotted panther, right? Like that looks very, very cool. Or like a leopard, right? Look for a leopard. And you could do a leopard. Follow the exact same tutorials, the exact same techniques, but just do your own stuff, your own pose, your own everything, so that it looks more unique to than just like copying a what's the word? Than just copying a portfolio or a tutorial that someone else did. Okay. Same for the orc. Same for this monster right here. Now, once I take a look at your stuff, at the thing that you were doing by yourself, what I notice is, again, a lack of form on your sculpt. Like, see those eyes right there? Like, I know this is supposed to be... It kind of looks like Tlaloc from like Mexican Mayan mythology. So, there's no need to keep the teeth, for instance, and these circles as part of the same piece. Do them as a separate piece so that they have sharper edges and a sharper connection to the head. Then, of course, you're gonna have to do a retopology, which I'm not seeing here, so I'm not sure how retopologize, like how properly retopologize this character is, so that we can evaluate that kind of stuff. Get rid of the rain. You don't need this unless you're doing some sort of like post-production thing. The rain is just gonna distract us more from the piece than what we have right here, so be very mindful about that. And same thing with this one right here. Like, the amount of detail you're adding, way too much detail, man. Way too much detail. It looks noisy. It looks like orange skin. And I know as we get older, our texture changes a little bit, but this is just looking a little bit too weird. Now, it could be improved a little bit by using a little bit of surface scattering that might like mask those things or that like detail a little bit more. But even then, it's just like a little bit too intense. Now, on this one, we do see retopology, but it's not the right retopology. It doesn't have the proper loops, and it's flowing in a little bit of a wrong direction. So, for you, my friend, probably the best like course that I could recommend is the anatomy course. Like, if you take the anatomy course and then take the retopology course to do the full process for Duncan, for instance, you could get a character that's more like ready for a game character. Even here, like the optimization of some of these assets, this might be the things that are holding you back, or that are making it so that people are not giving you the chance that you are looking for on the industry. Okay, there's still some technical things that we need to fix here. Now, I know that you have the technical knowledge. It looks like you know how to render, texture, UV, unwrap, and all of these things. That's great. We now need to focus again, as I've said with some of the other portfolios, on the quality of the things. Okay, I hope that helps. Yeah, Satlan, the 2024 market has been horrible. However, I was watching or reading some of Rafael Grassetti's opinions, and he got asked the same question, and he mentioned that one thing that he's seeing is that things will be picking up a little bit more in 2025. They'll still be a little bit slow, but they will be picking up a little bit more, and then things will get like hopefully better in the next couple of years. Wolf Girl, hey, thank you for the gift there. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Says here, also, when it comes down to tutorials, you can see how much you understand it when you apply it to your own stuff. Yeah, exactly, Wolfgar. That's right. Like, that's the point of a tutorial. When you're watching a tutorial, the main thing that you need to get from it is the information and the processes so that you can apply them to your own stuff. If you want to do the exact same exercise to make sure you understand it, go for it. But once you're ready to translate that to a piece that you're going to use for your portfolio, it's very important that you don't copy it and you do your own thing, okay? You follow what the instructor is teaching and then you do your own thing, because that's where you're really going to learn. Like, it's kind of like removing the training wheels from a bike, right? You really are on your own, and you need to find how to solve the problems and the situations that you're gonna run into. That's when you really see whether you learned or not, when you take the wheels out and you do your own stuff. So yeah, that's another important one right there. Let's see. Question: is your Substance Painter course applicable to other programs, textures in general? No, Beckerdraw. It's very like substance oriented. I mean, there are principles that you could maybe translate, but it's not gonna be as easy as a translation, to be honest. So I'm probably gonna be doing a Marmoset course soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but that one's coming as well on the pipeline, because it has some very, very strong texturing tools as well. Abdulatif, that's a great question. When do you separate objects and when you don't separate objects? I have a very good rule of thumb. If the object you're trying to model or sculpt is made out of multiple objects in the real world, do it as multiple objects. Because the closer you get to the real world, the better your bakes are going to be, the better your renders are going to be, the better the silhouette is going to be, the easier it's going to be to control the form and the edges. So if the object is modeled out of multiple pieces or assembled of multiple pieces in the real world, do it as separate pieces on the virtual world. Later on, we can figure out whether we merge it or dynamesh it or do other things. But a general rule of thumb is try to do it the way they would do it in the real world. You're going to get better results that way. Hello, this is my first time on your channel. Is it possible to be my portfolio as well? Not today, my friend, but we do this every single month. If you join our Discord channel, you will see a specific place where we do the portfolio review submissions. We're gonna open the submissions for December during December, so you gotta stay alert. And once that's open, you're free to do it. Like this, portfolio reviews are completely free. After updating Blender, can Blender sculpting softwares like Fibers? Yeah, the new Blender stuff, guys. And actually, no, I don't have it here. I installed it on my laptop. But Blender just updated their interface. It's just the interface. Like the things are exactly the same. Like, they did add a couple of extra brushes, but here on the sculpting part, where is it? There we go. So they changed it. So now brushes are like the little icons similar to ZBrush. Again, it's the exact same thing. They didn't really like change the underlying thing about it. It's just like the interface that they changed. They did add a couple of more brushes, I think. But yeah, it's a little bit closer. It has always been a very good competitor on Anik Tranjan to ZBrush. Like, if you don't want to pay the ZBrush stuff, that's fine. You can do a lot, and I've seen a bunch of like amazing things inside of Blender. However, ZBrush is still the industry standard. So the big projects, the big things, the big like sculpts will be done in ZBrush because it allows you to do more things than what Blender allows you to do. Okay. However, Blender is an excellent way to do it. We actually have that like the course, the Axe course, this one. The Blender 3D AAA weapon for games. We do the sculpting and everything inside of Blender, and you can get some really nice results without having to jump into other software. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that will be it for you, my friend Julio. Let's now go with Hamster. It says, greetings. I hope you have time for mine. I'm looking to apply to internships as I'm about to graduate college, so any feedback will be amazing. Let's take a look. Oh, that already looks quite nice. Interesting. Okay, first things first. Take out this two. The duck and this Lepi, the bunny, Mert, and Nakrai, they're not really working. Even this one right here, the catfish samurai, I'm not sure it's like up to the level. This one's quite nice. Robot boy. But what is it? Is it the design? Did you do the model? I'm not sure what I'm looking at right here. Let me go to your art station real quick. There we go. We have more stuff right here. Okay. Yeah, so take the dock out. You don't really need it. Yeah, some of these are good, man. I like it. See, this bunny, the monster bunny, looks way better here, Andrew, than it does on your site. Like, this is way too much fog, way too much information, and I can't see all of the detail. I'll still take it out, to be honest. I don't think it's that good of a project. But yeah, this one's fun. I'm not sure. It was fun on the thumbnail. Not too much fun once I go into it. Yeah, no, probably take this one out as well, man. It's because of the forms. Again, the forms of the, like, this ribs right here, this thing right here, it just looks very amateurish, okay? But this one looks good. I like this one. This looks like a shot from, again, from like a cinematic or something. So, way better. Even though it's a relatively simple asset, the way you're selling it here with the shot, definitely nicer. Let's see. Hey, is it okay to start posting on ArtStation and build a portfolio, even though I don't think my work actually that good to get jobs and commission and stuff? That's a great question, man. I have a couple of opinions about that. When I was a student, they heavily recommended us not to update anything on your portfolio until we graduated. So you can see that again on my portfolio. I still have some old stuff. I'm actually thinking about taking out some of the stuff that I have in here because some of it is very old. But the first piece that I added was this one right here, Appointment at 6, 10 years ago. And this one was one of my first pieces that came out of Nomen. So when I was already a student at Nomen, and I was like, hey, yeah, this one I think looks good. It has a good level. Let's add it. But other than that, most of the pieces here definitely need a little change. Like this one right here, I actually have some newer renders that I could just update because it's a very old piece, so it's not really worth it to have it there. Even like this Majora's Mask that I did like last year, I don't know. Like I just uploaded it because I like Link and Majora's Mask, but it's not that big of a deal, right? So again, if I follow my own advice that I always give you guys, like if it's something that's too simple to do, you might not want to have it. So it's better to share that kind of stuff. Someone here saying on Instagram, on Reddit, I don't know, on other places, right? So yeah, that's the only car I ever did. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Well, Kara is supposed to be the new art station, so it's a little bit different. Yeah, iPad for ZBrush is definitely a beast. Okay, so yeah, Andrew, my advice is clean up some of the pieces for your portfolio, and let's do something that's a little bit more ambitious, because again, another thing that I'm seeing is that a lot of your pieces are very boxy. This one is definitely a little bit more interesting, so that's a good progress, but we definitely gotta be a little bit more ambitious on the kind of stuff that we want to do, and clean some of the stuff that we have there. We now go with Arish, says, hi Abe, after the last time you butchered my portfolio, I've worked hard on it. I focused to improve my presentation and topology, but I know I still have a long way to go. I'm unsure whether I have the level to enter in the professional field or not. Let's take a look. Did I butcher your portfolio? Because this one looks very nice. Maybe I butchered this one right here. But dude, yeah, you were one of the honorable mentions for the past Creatures Unleashed contest. This is freaking amazing, man. Like this bear, I love this bear. You did a great job on this one, and even the texturing looks very, very nice. So what would I do? First of all, take this one out. I remember I butchered this one last time. Yeah, let's just get over it, man. I know you love it. I know you enjoyed it, but it's not helping you. Okay, just take that one out. You don't need that one. This is a very good one. Mecha Spinosaurus, again, a good one. Let's do a better environment. Let's do a little bit of Unreal. Use some of the Quixel assets so that we can see it how it would look in game or something like that. This Gandalf is fine. I remember saying a couple of things about the hat, but you can leave it. Again, I might take it out because there's definitely things that can be improved, but it's fine. I like this axe as well. Again, not as great as your bear as this one, but definitely better. This Gloom Dragon, let's take a look at this. Yeah, see, this immediately tells me something. I challenged myself to create a model within the 2 weeks for this project. I understand that, but as I've mentioned before, man, you don't want to rush this kind of stuff. Like, if you wanted to prove to yourself that you could draw a dragon, that's fine, but don't do it on your portfolio. Because this bear right here looks way better than that, right? Like, this is an amazing model right here. Really, really good. Professional and everything. And then we take a look at this. It's like, did the same person do both of this? That's the kind of question that I ask myself when I see portfolios like this, where I see really, really good pieces and then really meh pieces, okay? So you gotta be very honest with yourself and be like, hey, I know my portfolio is just gonna be left with 4 pieces maybe. This 4 right here. These 4 are better than having this extra 2 ones right here that are not helping your whole thing, okay? Let's say, hello Abe, hope you're doing great. One quick question, do you do animation portfolio reviews? I mean, I can take a look at them. If you submit them to the portfolio review, I can definitely take a look. I do have some insight on the kind of things that people are looking for in the animation. But if you submit, I might be able to send that to one of my animation friends. He's been an animator for several years, so he might be able to give you a little bit more of a nicer insight. Can you create those tiers with an opacity map in Substance? Yes, definitely. Definitely. Awesome. And last but not least, Camilo Guzman says, hi Abe, I'm focusing on working in the modeling and sculpting department. I already do texturing, so my next step should be to focus on that, since most job offers require both modeling and texturing. That's right. 4 years of experience. I want to specialize in 3D for video games. My 3 most recent works are personal projects I completed over the past 2 months. The rest of my person from 2021 2022. Let's take a look. Of course, Abdullah. I'm on Twitch and on Facebook. Both of them. Nice, nice. This is really nice, man. George Washington. Not bad. Yeah, good detail. finish it. Do the full process. Like this could, like, you don't even need to do like realistic skin. Just do a basic retopology. Here's where I might even recommend just do Siri measure. Doesn't matter too much. Just make sure that the silhouette is preserved or conserved, and do it like a metal statue for a game, like a game asset. This is great work. Oh, I really like this one as well. Nice, nice. Yeah, good job. It's a good job. I prefer the George Washington a little bit more, to be honest, but that one's not bad. This one I've seen so many times already, so this is what happens, guys, and this is another like big advice that I can give you. If you look for Axe, concept art, fantasy, you're always gonna get the same results everyone else is getting, right? Always, always. And unfortunately, if you do this, you're gonna end up doing the same Axe everyone else is doing. So it's very important that you really like dig deep, and I'm gonna give you a very good advice. If you find a concept that you like this one's right here, click on it, and look whoever did it, like Thor6136, and they might have more stuff. Okay, this is very, very important. Like, really go in there and look for concepts that are not available on the very first couple of pages of whatever like thing you're using to look for the concepts. Pinterest is another great idea. ArtStation is a great place to look for concepts, because again, I've seen this axe several times already on portfolio reviews, and the problem with that is you get used to who did a really good job and who is not doing a great job. So if you didn't do a great job, which I'm not saying you didn't, like this is looking quite nice, but the fact that I've seen it already is it doesn't tell me too much, right? And another thing, this kind of stuff works better, again, with hand-painted style effects. So trying to do this PBR stuff, it starts looking a little bit weird, like that metal edgeware on the wood, it just looks a little bit fake. So let's pick a couple of better projects like this one. This one's way better because it's way more unique. Looks way more interesting. Again, this could really benefit from a little bit of hand-painted texture. And we definitely, Camilo, very important, we want to see the wireframe. Otherwise, it's very difficult to understand what's going on, okay? So we definitely want to see the wireframe. This one really good, though. I really like the sculpt on this one. You can go a little bit deeper on some of the details on the face. That's a good sculpt. Again, finish it. Finish it. Do the bakes. Do everything. And that's going to give you a couple more chances. So, that's it, guys. That was the last one. Camilo, thank you very much. 30 portfolios. I think we broke a record here. I mean, in general, most of the level this time around was very good. Like, we had a lot of like really advanced portfolios and really good results. So I'm really happy to see that as a community we're also growing. Like, there's a couple of people here that it's the second time that they're doing what's the word, that they're doing their portfolio review, and I can definitely see the improvement. That's the point. Always learning, always improving, right? So let's take a couple more questions before we finish this. So let's see. Catfish says, thank you, Abe. You just helped me with substance problem from your recorded video. I hope someday my portfolio is worthy to be seen by you. I'm sure it will, my friend. I'm sure it will. And hopefully, as long as you guys keep supporting this channel and you keep supporting this project, I'll be here doing portfolio reviews for a long time. So let's see. What was Gloom? No, there was nothing. Oh, with the Gloom Dragon, it's just the forms in general. Like they didn't have as much detail or as much form as they did. Do you have a studio? Yes, but it's a very small studio. We do VR experiences for museums. That's our main focus. So yes, right now we have 3 employees. 3 employees working for us, and yeah, it's a small studio. It's 5 of us, so it's me, my partner. We are the owners of the studio, and we have 3 employees right now working with us. I'm working in movie VFX company as a 3D artist. I work with Chloe and Marvelous. Any advice for me to be a great artist? Any suggestion of your courses? You can check the Marvelous course, the one where we do the Plague Doctor. That might be a good one. And of course, the Substance course, where you can take that stuff and then bring it. No, we do a lot of stuff, man. We do the full pipeline. So we do modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, UI design. We're all generalists, so that's why we do that. We do programming instead of Unreal Engine 4, deployment, and part of our studio is that we actually go to the museums and we have people there like doing or selling the experience, right? Like the VR game that we use. Do you think we need to specify a portfolio that uses specular? Yes, you need to make sure that you mention it, whether it's a PBR workflow or hand-painted stuff. That's an important. Felipe, yes, I am located in Mexico, in Saltillo, to be specific. That's where I am located. So, a couple of notices before we finish this, or we close this portfolio review. First of all, quick reminder that our Black Friday sale is going on. It's going to be available. It's been available throughout the whole week. It's going to be available until Monday. So Cyber Monday, 11:59 p.m. It's out, okay? It's based on time zone, so there might be some time zones that get this thing cut out before, like a little bit before. So if you're thinking about getting a course, I strongly recommend that you do it in the next couple of days before you do that. No, we don't have any vacancies right now or requirements entertainment, but if I ever do, Discord is the first place I'm gonna be doing that. Any sneak peek for the museum projects? We recently worked with a brand, and we have a museum that's it's from a very famous Mexican composer. His name is Cricri. It's like a kid's composer, and we did a very fun experience that's currently in Orizaba in Veracruz. So in their museum, they have this VR experience. It's like a 7-8 minute experience where we get to meet the little cricket here and listen to a couple of their songs, play a couple of games. It's fun. We did a dinosaur one, Ice Age. We have a couple of stuff. I'm gonna see if I can get some of the assets so that you guys can see it. They're not like AAA assets. They're like VR assets, so the quality, of course, is more optimized for VR. But yeah, it's a fun little exercise there. So yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, Black Friday sale is there. We're gonna have portfolio review, of course, next month, so make sure to join the Discord so that you know when the new portfolio review opens. And other than that, make sure to keep improving, make sure to keep learning, find the things that really inspire you. That's one of the most important things. Really find those things that are going to inspire you and use those to create awesome things. Where am I from? I'm from Mexico, my friends. I am from Mexico. My English is a little bit good. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I lived for a couple of years in California, so that's why I got a nice accent. Well, not accent, but a nice English, if you want to say that. So yeah, thank you very much, my friends. Have a great weekend. Make sure, if it's cold where you are, to get some nice warm cloths on you so that you don't get sick. And we're gonna have more news coming up very, very soon, okay? So thank you very much. If you want to support the project, best way to do it: like, share, subscribe, check the premium courses, and don't forget, always learning, always improving. Bye bye, my friends.